Tonight on the Black Channel, following up on something.
We have a major break tonight to tell you about in the death of a North Texas teen. It was supposed to be a fun day of fishing for 3 young men at Lake Ray Hubbard. Instead, it turned deadly after the group jumped in to swim, and 18-year-old Daniel Irving never resurfaced. Now, months later, police have arrested a 19-year-old they say tried to cover up and hide what actually happened that day. Fox 4's Alex Boyer picks up our top story from there.
According to Dallas police, text messages prove that the victim and suspect knew each other and had made plans to meet up and go to a lake back in April. Now, the victim, Daniel Irving, never came home. His mom reported him missing. It wasn't until nearly 3 months after his body was recovered that police have made an arrest in connection to the case.
19-year-old Lucas Roper is accused of tampering with evidence in connection to the drowning death of 18-year-old Daniel Irving in Lake Ray Hubbard back in April. Irving's body was discovered on April 17th, 4 days after he is believed to have drowned. Irving had reportedly gone to the lake with Roper and a juvenile suspect to swim and go fishing. Days after his body was recovered, Irving's family held this news conference demanding answers.
What do we want? Justice. Amen. For Daniel Irving. Amen. When do we want it? Now.
There's some details that they're about to go into on this story here. I want you to pay careful attention to these details, and you tell me if these details they're about to give you here sound right.
Irving's family said then that they wanted a full and transparent investigation. On July 9th, Roper was arrested by Dallas police on 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Roper was interviewed by detectives after Irving's body was found. Roper told police after the 3 of them had jumped into the lake from the railroad track bridge, Irving drowned and Roper panicked. Instead of calling 911, the affidavit states Roper told investigators he deleted all communication with Daniel Irving from his cell phone, adding that Roper confirmed he was aware that there would be an investigation into Daniel Irving's death and he did not want to get into trouble, and states Roper threw Daniel Irving's clothes in the tree line as they fled the location.
Okay. He deleted all of his communications with Daniel Irving from his cell phone. Okay. And then he threw Daniel Irving's clothes into the tree line as they fled from the location. But wait, folks, wait. They're not done yet. Yeah, believe it or not, they're not done yet.
Roper threw Daniel Irving's clothes in the tree line as they fled the location. The juvenile suspect also told investigators he admitted he threw Daniel Irving's cell phone from the vehicle after suspect Roper told him to.
That's right. He deleted the messages on his phone. He tried to conceal his clothing. And then they tried to dispose of Irving's cell phone after the case. How does that sound to you all? What does that sound like? How does that strike you all? How does that sound to you all when you hear that?
We, the family, are deeply inclined these individuals intended on no one looking for Daniel, fighting for Daniel, advocating for Daniel.
Irving's siblings said his young life was full of promise.
He had just begun.
Of everything I heard, this right here got my attention. Throwing clothes in the tree line as they fled the location. Why? What was the point of that? What exactly are you trying to accomplish with that? Makes sense to me. But there's a reason why I don't say things and whatnot. There's a reason why I don't say things. You see, there were folks who were asking me about cases and whatnot, like the case of Nolan Wells. Very unfortunate, very tragic what's occurred there with Nolan Wells. Very tragic what's occurred there. And you see, folk ask me, well, Jason, are you going to say something? Understand something. In the comments section, in the chat room, please understand, for those of you who may be either new or slow, it's really silly for you to say, Jason, are you going to talk about this or talk about that? It's my job to be informed about these things. And obviously, if you know about it, I know about it. The real question is, well, Jason, if you know, why is it you're not saying anything? So to the new or the slow, whichever category you may belong in there, who just keep asking the same redundant questions, just because you don't know doesn't mean that we don't. See, when you asked about this, and I posted, if you're not paying attention to what I post on Twitter or on YouTube on the post page, that's your fault. That's really your fault. When it comes to Nolan Wells, well, I posted this a while ago. You might not have been aware, but this is what I was waiting for.
Do you think race might be a factor?
Like my wife said, I don't want to believe that, but it's just it's so many things have happened, and so many things have been swept under the rug. Like I said, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are, and I used to always tell him, "So you need to go out there close, because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give."
So to the slow and the dumb and the new, just don't ask silly questions like that. Jason, did you hear about it? Jason, did you? Why didn't you talk about this? If I'm not saying anything, I'm trying to say something. If I'm not saying anything, I'm trying to say something. And if I haven't told you anything, I'm trying to tell you something. You see, the policy here is that we wait. We don't just jump out there and start saying things. The policy here is that we know things. We don't just jump out there and say things. So what I do is I wait. I wait to see what the family is going to say. That's what I wait for. I wait to see if the family is going to say something. I wait to see what is the family going to characterize this as. Is the family going to characterize this as a racial issue? Don't expect me to do it and the family comes out and says the total opposite. As you all know, that has been our longstanding policy here now for almost the last decade. Our policy is wait. We're not going to let folk get playing on us. You all need to come out and say what this is, and then we'll back you. We are not going to say that this is racial unless you do. If you say this is racial, we're going to back you up. But if you don't say that it is, then we're not going to come jumping out the window and, oh, well, we got to hold this together here and, we understand what it is. No, actually, we don't understand what it is. Actually, we don't. That's the part that folks don't understand there. We're not going to just sit up here and jump up here and just be flying out the window for those things because somebody said something. So when I didn't say anything there, just understand this because I'm waiting. I'm waiting because I want to take this as an opportunity for us to learn some things here. I want to take that as an opportunity to learn some things here. You see, in this internet era, folks tend to sit up here and jump up and say things and whatnot, and then you're not finding out what the context of it is. We've been talking about this forever, and especially in this day and age right here, you got folks who are sitting up here not paying attention to things. They're not paying attention to things, and they're not really recognizing what's happening here. So, you see, a lot of folk are sitting up here playing this game of being, when we talk about being black when convenient, we talk about being black when convenient. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Is everybody on the same damn page about the threat that we face on a daily basis? Is everyone paying attention about the threats that we face on a daily basis? Are they having those conversations with their children on a daily basis? Are they leaving it up to us to come up after the fact to make up the shortfall? I'm asking questions here tonight. You see, understand something. For those of us here in B1 society, we've been talking about this now going on 2 decades. We've been talking about this going on now for 2 decades. This is not new. So when you got folk who got kids who we've been broadcasting as long as their kids have been alive, and what's the conversation you've been having with them? That's the question that I'm trying to figure out here. What is the conversation that you're having with them? Because in a lot of these cases, I think a lot of these folk are expecting us. To come jumping up and whatnot. And it's just like, okay, I got to find out some things here first. So I admonish everybody. I admonish everyone here. Before you jump up when you hear something or see something, you better find out what's going on, because I need to know what folks are telling these kids out here today. I need to know what they're telling them, and I need to know what they're saying to them. That does not mean that I'm condoning or protecting anything. Let's be very, very clear about that. I'm not condoning or protecting anything. Not at all. What I am saying is that, hey, folks, am I the only one who doesn't see people out here being necessarily proactive? Let me explain to you some words that we used to hear as children. Where you going and who you gonna be with? Is there anybody among this little group that I know of? Where are you going? Who are you going to be with? And is there anybody among this group that any of these names I recognize them or their people? What? I'm trying to figure out here. Do I know any of these people? Because you see, here's the way the things go. If you have a daughter, your daughter is not supposed to be going off with folk and you don't know who the hell they are. You know why? Let me explain to y'all something about the old folk. I understand this internet age, the millennials and Gen Alpha just been out here just left to their own devices. Let me explain to you how the old folk taught us about this. If I send my daughter somewhere, whoever the person is that I've sent my daughter with, if it is a male, he is responsible for my child. See, that's where that comes from. He wants to take your daughter somewhere, whatever. Okay, let me explain something to you, young man. Whatever happens to my daughter is gonna happen to you.
And deal with it, nigga.
They ain't ready for this. No, they want to sit up here and do it the Instagram thought life way. Let me explain to y'all them the rules. Whatever happens to my daughter is gonna happen to you. And the old folk meant that. The old folk meant that. So you see, when that's the mindset that you're coming at things for, when that's the mindset that you're coming at things from, that makes a whole big difference. Your first due diligence is knowing who they're going with. Is this somebody you know, or is this somebody your kids done brought up here? Hey, I'm going off with these folks over here. Who the hell is running this house? You don't sit up here and call me and come through the door and inform me of who you going with. Do y'all know how many times I sat up here? I really only happened a couple of times. My folks were quick to let you know, oh, you're not going anywhere. My folks were quick to let you know, I don't know these people. I don't know nothing about this. You ain't going nowhere. What you mean you going? You better take your stuff with you when you walk out that door, because you ain't going nowhere with folks I don't know nothing about. I don't know them. I don't know their people. I don't have a phone number. Where you think you going? You don't just hop up here and I'm heading out the door. You're going to tell me what your plans this weekend are? Tell me. No. You ask me. And I need to know who these people are, on account of the fact if something happens, I need to know whose ass I got to put a foot up. I want to know who are the adults who are going to be responsible for you when you get there. Because if it's just a bunch of kids hanging around, ain't no adults, what that means is that there is nobody in authority. There is no supervision. There's nobody in charge of nothing. It's just a bunch of kids hanging out, and we know what kids gonna get into. So you don't get to just sit up here and talk about where you going and what you doing. And I don't have a contact. I don't know these people. I can't vouch for them. I don't know anyone who does. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's a whole big difference. And I'm asking, who in the world are these parents today out here that's not something that's happening? Now, if this is something that was happening way before I was a child, what in the world are these folks out here doing where your son, I'm going to say it, I see 30 kids out here. Your son is the only black one. And he's totally comfortable. And then have some clown jump in the comment section asking me when I'm going to talk about this. When you going to go back to elementary school and learn something, dude? Your child is comfortable like that? That's the part right there I'm trying to figure out. So your kid is comfortable with that. Don't tell me that you informed him and it's like, okay, he saw that situation right there, and what the hell happened? What happened? He comes up missing, don't know, all of a sudden, don't nobody know nothing, ain't nobody seen nothing. Doesn't that sound familiar? That has been our experience in America. Our experience in America is you're a black boy or a black male and you go someplace, and when the racial tide turns against you, they all get on code, and the last place you were seen is just the last place you were seen. And after that, you've just vanished in the thin air. You just gone. And everybody gets on code. Nobody saw nothing. Nobody said nothing. Y'all get that part right there? Nobody saw nothing and nobody said nothing. Now that's the part that lets you know what environment you've been raising your children in. How well you estimated that environment, whether we're over here just being reactionary. Okay, when something did happen, you had dozens of people, and there's nobody, do y'all realize to this day, nobody says they saw anything. Now, you've seen the videos of him with the dozens of people around him, and yet when he disappeared, everybody's talking about, we don't know where he went. We don't know who he was with. We don't even know when he just was gone. We figured he left with somebody else. How you got all them eyes and nobody knows where he went? What that tells me is everybody knows where he went. Let's not be foolish here. If nobody knows the last time he was seen, nobody knows where he went after that, that means everybody knows where he went after that. Now they're all on code to say, yeah, we don't say anything. You have heard many of you ask why it is that we refer to white supremacy as a religion. For those of you who have wondered or opined or were questioning about why we refer to white supremacy as a religion, let's discuss religious dogma and practices for a moment. You see, under religious practices, everybody is on code. You have your commandments, you have your mantras, you have a code. That code, listen carefully now, that code is above everything. And by everything, I mean that code is also above the written laws of man. This is the reason why in communist countries, the first order of business was to attack and undermine the religions. You see, if you are a person who adheres to a religion, then what you are saying is that you recognize an authority above the state. That's the problem with the religion. The problem with the religion to government is that when you say that you're a believer or an adherent to a religion, what you're really saying is, I believe in something, I have an allegiance to something that I consider higher than the state. Oh. So in other words, social pressure, political pressure, laws, this is a person who is adhering to something that they consider to be above that. So yes, they know what the law is, but if things go down, they're going to defer to this religion. All right. Now they're going to do it as a group. White supremacy is a group activity. Religion is a group activity also. And I submit to you that when these incidents occur, what do you notice? Everybody falls into line, in the words of our immortal ancestor, Brother Neely Fuller, without being taught. They didn't have to have a get together. They didn't have to have a powwow. They didn't have to have a debriefing, because the debriefings happened beforehand. Did y'all get that? Brother Neely Fuller taught us that you could not have the uniformity that you see. Everywhere you go, it operates the same. That's impossible for that to happen unless everyone is being indoctrinated equally. And then when you move out into society, you then come into contact with the indoctrination. So you see, when events happen, they've all been instructed and indoctrinated on how to respond. So you sitting there thinking they got to get their story together. Hey, fool, they've already got it together. They already got it together. Understand that. They already have it. They're just hoping that you don't. But they already have it. And then when you show up there, that's when you realize that, oh man, you thought they were having to get something together. You disappear and everybody on code instantaneously. Everybody knows not to speak. And here you are weeks later. Did you all notice the code of Omerta hasn't broken yet? Did you notice that? Did you all notice the code of Omerta hasn't broken yet? They are still rock solid, lockstep on code right now. Right now. You got investigators, you got media, you got folk asking questions. Ain't nobody saying nothing to you. No one's saying anything to you. Now, let me go ahead and bring this around to something else. You see, when you're a black person talking about starting a business, you encounter the economic walls of white supremacy. They conduct economic discriminatory practices against you every day. Nobody says anything. Gigantic banks, gigantic corporations, gigantic civic institutions, and everybody is quiet. You got turned down, you got fired, you got moved around, you got done dirty, and everybody is quiet. Nobody is saying anything. Nobody is breaking ranks. No one is saying a word. Yeah, you just thought this applied as far as situations like this. Folks, these are extreme situations or extreme circumstances, but the reason that everybody immediately snapped to attention is because they practice this every day in all these seemingly small ways compared to somebody dying, all these small ways. So you see, they're constantly practicing it. They're practicing being in lockstep in squatting up against you in these other ways. So when something like this happens, they don't have to be prepared or debriefed. Everybody knows what to do. Remember, folks, we got to remember something here. You see, you've heard us tell you about many times here that when black folk are someplace, we know to give each other the look. We know to give each other the look in a situation if something ain't right, even if it's a total stranger. Have you ever considered that these other folk have been taught the same way? What? Have you ever considered that these other folk been taught the same way? So if something happens to you, all they have to do is give each other a look. No words need to be spoken. No details need to be discussed. Ain't no text messages flying. Everybody knows. No words, don't speak. No documentation, no text, no calls. This event didn't happen. You all do understand that that's basically what they're saying about Nolan Wells right now, right? He did. Somebody had a cell phone. We don't know how he got separated from the cell phone. This didn't happen. One minute he's alive, next minute he dead. This didn't happen. Dozens of people, and the real thing I want you all to remember is, so nobody saw him within the last few minutes of his life. All those people around and nobody saw nothing. That's not humanly possible. What is more likely is, yeah, you all saw something. You all saw something. It's not just one person as a group. You saw that. And they're letting you know that if you're operating under the illusion or under the fallacy that everybody around you is not on code, forget about it. I keep reminding you all of this example, the first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, where the guy goes to the rave party with his vampire girlfriend, and that is a scene that black folk need to watch and remember. Everybody in that place, hundreds of people, and everybody in there is a vampire except the new guy. He's sitting up here dancing and boogieing and this, that, and the other, and doesn't realize, dude, you're the meat. You're the only one ain't a vampire. Not just yet, anyway. But everybody, he didn't know where he was until they brought their fangs out. You in a whole room of vampires and just sitting here diddy bopping. That's the thing I want you to remember. You're in a room full of vampires and you're the only one who's not. Bruh, who here you think got your back? And more than that, who taught you that there was anybody there who did? Who taught you that? Who made you think that there was anybody in that group who had your back, man? Who was responsible for gaming you up and wising you up? I gotta talk to the black men right now. I gotta talk to the black men for a moment here. I got to say something. Here. Who's responsible for that? To his father, I would really like to know exactly what is it that was being. What environment were we teaching or telling here? Because as black men over the age of 40, over the age of 50, over the age of 60, 70, we're not supposed to be waking up right here and telling these young folk that they are in anything other than deadly ground. How the hell is it you lived your life experiences and your children are not more cautious today than ever? Not based on what you heard from somebody else, but based on your own experiences. Some folks in the chat room saying from Mississippi at that. Okay. Talking about from Mississippi at that. I need y'all to understand and recognize something. There's two Mississippis, just like there's two Louisianas, there's two Alabamas, there's two Floridas. In case y'all didn't know that. There's where you actually are as a black person, and then there's where a bunch of black folk wish they could be. And when you get preoccupied with where you wish you could be, then we stop focusing on where we actually are. And you got young folk out here. People, let me tell y'all something. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. Every time I hit Interstate 20 heading east on I-20, every time I hit Interstate 20 heading east on I-20, you go all the way across Louisiana. Then you go across the Mississippi River. And then when you come back down off of that bridge, you're in Vicksburg, Mississippi. You keep on driving and you get to Jackson, Mississippi. And every time I come through on I-20, I see that sign. You see that sign that talks about the Cheney exit. The Cheney Parkway or the Cheney exit there. You see that sign every time you come through there. If you haven't been, you need to be. We're talking about Goodman, Cheney, and Schwerner. The three civil rights workers who got murdered and were immortalized in that movie Mississippi Burning. There's a sign on Interstate 20 in Mississippi for that Cheney exit. And I pass that every time I come through Mississippi. Have you sat down in Mississippi and taught your children who Cheney was? Now, that's the issue right there. Are you teaching your children who Cheney was? Because you see, if you don't know the circumstances, that makes a problem. When I go by that James Cheney exit there, that James Cheney sign, you need to know what the hell that is so you know the circumstances, that everybody was in on it. That's the lesson to be learned. In Mississippi, the whole thing about it was everybody was in on it. The police, the pastors, the sheriff, everybody was in on it. You want to talk about blading vampires? There was nobody in Mississippi for you to go to because all the white folk in Mississippi were in on it. That was a group lynching. You had 3 people in a car. 2 of them were white. Yes, I know Jewish, but 2 of them were white. And they got together, okay, y'all gone. And everybody got quiet. You go talk to folk in like a damn cult because white supremacy is a religious cult. Everybody got quiet, not just 1 or 2 people. You go knock on as many doors you want to, ain't nobody talking to you. I've gotten off on that exit. I have no issue with that. We did not let them sacrifice themselves so that we can be more timid. However, as the Bible says, I want you to be as wise as serpents, but as harmless as sheep. I got half of that right. I got the wise part. Harmless? Not that one. Not that one. Now, if you got kids you raised in Mississippi and you have not indoctrinated them about what that exit is, you live there and you ain't talked to them about what that is, they don't know that in Mississippi, these folk rise up as a group. They don't have to be taught white supremacy. They already know it. And if they do something to you, they all gonna be on code. Have you sat your children down and told them that that's what it is? I ain't talking about some milquetoast. Well, you love folks, but everybody ain't gonna just love you. Okay, no, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, have you told them the history of Mississippi? Have you told them about where they are and where they stand? When I was a child, my parents told me about Louisiana. They told me about George Dartar as a boy. They told me about where I was. They told me about how the Shreveport Police Department can make you come up missing. They told me about that as a child. They made sure that we understood where we were, so that when we saw black men getting gunned down and shot in the back and disappeared, we knew where the hell we were at. So when they gave us instructions, we understood to listen and obey because we knew what the instructions were for. That's why you didn't see a whole bunch of us getting caught out there like that. For those of us who were raised to understand both sides of Louisiana, not just the one we were in, but the one folks aspire to. And so that you understand that's dangerous ground if you aspire to that and forget the one you're in. You can move and operate where you aspire to be, but you better not forget where you actually are. Or, as Brother Neely Fuller taught us, do not be confused. Just because you can associate and mingle with these other people here, don't come away from this confused. You're sitting on this boat with these people and it's looking like you're confused about where you at. You see, my concern is that you think there are 4 white people in this picture. What? May I say it directly? May I address it directly? My concern is that you may be confused and you've told yourself that there are 4 white people in this picture. That's the issue I got. I have the issue that I'm afraid that you've come away with the idea there are 4 white people here. He don't see color. Okay, who taught him that? That's not something that you naturally assume. The evidence of color blindness, the evidence of being color conscious is overwhelming in Mississippi. Who is it who's been teaching him that there isn't? Who taught him that? Because he would have had to be taught that. Now, let me explain something to y'all. How the hell are you colorblind in Mississippi, damn it? They just got rid of their Confederate flag a few years ago. How the hell are you colorblind in Mississippi? Y'all know how many damn Confederate flags I pass every time I come through that place? They just got off their damn flag a few years ago. How in the hell can you be colorblind in Mississippi? How do you pull that off? How is that possible to be colorblind in Mississippi? It is not lost on me. It is not lost on me at all about the fact that these folk did not share the lineage. I understand that. It's not lost on me, and which is why this is a cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale that you see for those among you here, and I got some folks who are riders about that. I got some folk here who are riders about that, and that's good. Shout out to my man Shy. Shout out to you, brother. We appreciate that. I was conversing with him earlier this week, but shout out to Shy. We got some of y'all there who understand because they've been listening to us and they're on the same page here. And you see, a lot of folks have been trying to deceive themselves and fool themselves into thinking that, oh, well, y'all just ain't playing the game right and y'all are just not kissing enough ass and not doing enough. And it's like, dude, you don't understand where the hell you at. And clearly, you are willing to bet your life on it. They're so desirous to be in those ranks that they're willing to bet their lives on it. Case in point, I'm going to upset some folk with this, so you've been warned in advance, trigger warning. I'm going to upset some folks with this here, but if you all remember the curious case of Ashley Janae, if you all will remember, on my other YouTube channel, I reviewed this case and I was telling folk over there then, I know a bunch of folks are knee-jerk reaction. I get it. I get the circumstances. I'm just saying, I think there may be a aspect of this that people are not willing to accept, and it'll be brutal, but I think there's an aspect they're not willing to accept. That have you been willing to accept that she committed suicide?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
See, here's the issue. The issue is so many of y'all are seeing things through FBA eyes. You see things through those eyes that you don't want to believe that kind of thing could happen or would happen because of all the progress that we've made. So you would, through your eyes, that's anathema to you. But is she looking through your eyes? Is she looking through your eyes? That's the real question. Because if you're not looking at it through her eyes, you're looking at it through your own, that's problematic. And this is how you end up, get coming out of situations confused. Because you're telling yourself, well, that really wouldn't happen. Well, no, we understand the rules, we understand the code, so no, you would not be doing that. And it's like, okay, is that really a real thing, or is that something that you're latching on to? Let me go ahead and get into that. Here, because I want to take this as a moment to remind people about this. And like I said, you've been trigger warned already. I know it's going to be some folks ain't going to like it. It's trigger warning for you here. Let me go ahead and go to the white supremacist New York Post. Let me go there to the bad guys. New Jersey influencer, and they don't know whether New Jersey or Portland wants to claim her, by the way. Because y'all saw, it depends on, they don't know where they, just like with everything else, they want to be, this is what happens when you don't want to claim an identity. You don't want to claim an identity and, it's just okay. Portland-based influencer, so which one is it, y'all? Portland or New Jersey? You want to be everything to everybody. You see, we don't want to be everything to everybody. We want to be ourselves. And everybody needs to get cool with that. These other folk here try to be everything to everybody, and this is a fool's errand. And it ends like this. New Jersey influencer Ashley Janae's cause of death has been confirmed to be a suicide after police said the content creator had an explosive fight with her fiance at a luxury resort in Tanzania. Quote, through witness statements and analysis of communication devices belonging to the deceased and her fiance, so they pulled the text messages, we established that she had been experiencing mental distress. Local police chief Zuberi Shimbera told the media on Thursday, as first reported by Tanzanian news outlet The Citizen. Quote, SMS messages, that's text messages, showed repeated complaints regarding her life circumstances, said Kimbera. Speaking from Zanzibar, the popular tourist destination where Janae, 31, was staying with her husband-to-be, Joe McCann, 45, at the time of her death in April. Staff at the Zuri Hotel moved Janae, her real name Ashley Robinson, and McCann into separate villas on April 8th, 2 days after they checked in following a vicious argument, according to police. Just before 9 p.m. that evening, a staff member carrying out routine checks let themselves into Robinson's new villa with a master key and heard a sudden thud-like sound before finding her hanging inside the unlit room, police said. She had fastened a noose out of a hotel-provided rope belt and a clothing rail, according to police. No further details were given about the nature of the couple's argument before Robinson's death, and police in Zanzibar said their investigation is now closed. In her final phone call to the States, Robinson told her parents that the couple had fought so badly that the staff had placed them in separate rooms. The next day, April 9th, McCann called his fiance's parents to say that their daughter did something to herself but was vague on details. Robinson died later that day with her cause of death listed as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation. McCann was questioned following the death, but never accused by police of any wrongdoing. So I talked about all this before. You go places, you do things here, and you got folks out there. And I have to say this in my role as the anchor man here. I have to say this. You got folks out there who they are so enamored in these situations, they're willing to die and risk their lives for it. They're willing to die and risk their lives for it. I'd like to ask you all, why is it you have so much trouble believing that she would kill herself, man? This is the part right here that I don't understand. To anybody who is in doubt about it, my question to you is why? What are you doubting? What are you doubting? This is more common than you might think. I don't understand where the doubt is for you here. I guess what you really don't want to believe is that there are so many folk who are actually this enamored and are actually this obsessed with it that you don't want to believe that, so you're having cognitive dissonance. You see, when you wrap your identity up in acceptance by the dominant society, then you can come away thinking that if you lose that, you've lost everything. Have you considered that? When you sat up here and did all this stuff, you put all these eggs in that basket and you told these folk this is what it's going to be. Have you all considered that that was the case? I don't know why folks are having such a hard time with this. It's like they just don't want to believe it could be. Remember we had that saying years ago about when you have a chess piece that's been taken by the other side. Clearly there are a lot of you who don't really believe that. You say these things, but you don't actually believe any of it. I meant what I said the first time, that she's been captured. She's been captured, and you didn't really, apparently a good number, you didn't really believe that. She's been captured. This is it. You talk about ride or die. Okay, this is it. This is it. This is all it's going to be. So there's a lot of you here, you're growing up with this idea, once you go black, you never go back. Okay, you're used to subscribing that to black men, but for some of y'all, maybe it's hurting your feelings that in the bedwench community, they really are ready to crash all the way out. If they finally do get their opportunity, that's it. They are ready to go all the way out. Because they put all of their chips and all their eggs in this basket. And you underestimated how seriously they took this. That's the part right there. I'm saying, well, really? You underestimated how seriously they take this? I know I was probably the first person in these circles who said, the evidence actually, there's a good amount of evidence that says that she just committed suicide is all. Nah, it can't be it. Why? Because you don't want to believe it? Why? Because you wouldn't do it? It wouldn't be worth it to you? I'm telling you, it was worth it to her. What did she tell her family back home? Where them folks are from originally. What do y'all think she told them? What do y'all think she said to them? What do you all think she gave up for that? You take a look at this. She couldn't afford none of this, so that was it. She's going to be daddy's, naughty brown sugar. That was it, dude. We're going all the way. Most likely, old boy told her, I hope you enjoyed the trip over here, because when we get back to the States, your ass is getting dropped. And that was it. You can call your mama, your daddy, we done so. And she's sitting up here kicking in the doors. You can't do that. I've already posted pictures in your Lamborghini and told everybody about how great things are. I can't do that. I've already covered this subject. You're not going to teach me about this. We've already taken pictures in your Lamborghini and I posted up all over on Instagram about how don't y'all wish y'all was living this life? And okay. So many of you, apparently, you still underestimate how many people are willing to die for this. They are willing to literally die for this. If they actually do get their card or something that looks like a card to get accepted, they finally get a chance to get accepted, they're willing to die behind this. I'm just bringing that up because I want you all to understand that some of these folk got children. So when this is how extreme this desire to be accepted can become, that they are willing to take chances to either kill or die over it. That's the thing. They're willing to take their chances to kill or die over it. And so if you have children, you cannot have parents who feel the same way and operate the same way, because when things happen and it goes down, that's what it's going to be. Now, I'm going to send an admonition right now to folks out there. I need to send an admonition to folks out there. I want you to understand something. For Daniel Irving, this is who he was with. This is the person right here that was orchestrating the disposal of the evidence, and all they want to charge him with is tampering with evidence. This is the fella that he was with. This is the little fella that he was with, and when he drowned, in quotations, the first order of business was not to call for help. Did y'all get that? The first order of business wasn't to call for help. You would figure that if you saw somebody drown, your reflexive reaction would be to call for help. You wouldn't even need to be told that, hey, my buddy is drowning, let me get somebody to help him. Nobody did. His first reaction was start deleting messages, get rid of his clothes, get rid of his cell phone. Who does that? Who does that? Folks, who in here, if you saw somebody drowning, your first reaction would be to start deleting your text messages? Not to call for help for them. Your first reaction is start deleting text messages. I want to know who here thinks that that is the natural, normal, reasonable response to seeing somebody drowning that you didn't have a part in. Let me add that. You didn't have any part in it. Your response is to start deleting text messages, throw away their clothes, and throw away their cell phone. That's your reaction to seeing somebody drown. Now, I don't know what occurred. I don't know what happened. I do know that this fella right here looks very troubled. He does not look right. He does not look right at all. He looks very, very similar to these SSRIs out there, these folks on these SSRIs. He's got that 1,000-yard stare. He's got that I just wanted to see what it's like to kill somebody stare. Where he acquired it from, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that you walked out there to the river with him, and only him and his other buddy came home. And you got the police running around like, damn me, the Keystone Cops, and don't nobody know nothing. The police hear that he's disposed of your clothes, disposed of your cell phone, and they're like, well, we're not very sure that this was, that this was more than drowning. Well, okay. That's why I want to know, who are the parents out here telling their kids, you go ahead and go do that this is where you need to be? How many of y'all, when you were teenagers, that this fella right here would have been somebody you would have been safe around? that you would have thought you'd be safe around, because some of y'all have been taught that. Some of y'all have been taught that. Some of you have accepted the Coon class's explanation of everything that, well, you know, the real issue here, we is our own worst enemies.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
So every time we turn around, I see somebody trying to teach their children that, you know, you ain't got to worry about nothing. If you, as long as you're around white folks, you'll be okay. Everything gonna be good when you're over there. You only got to worry if you around them black folks there. Yeah, the fella here a few years ago wanted to be a doctor. He was off with his white friends. Same thing happened there. They pushed his ass off the damn pier. He nearly drowned. Talking the same garbage. It's 2026. I don't know what I have to do to let you know, man. Don't you know how quickly you can come up missing? Don't you know how quickly you will come up missing? And once again, you do understand, nobody saw nothing. It's 2026, and we shouldn't have to inform you. You do realize, man, look here. You come up missing and ain't nobody seen anything. Nobody saw nothing. When was the last time that a white kid went off with a group of black children to go swimming and he was the only one who didn't come back? I'll wait. I'll wait. I need y'all to tell me that story. When was the last time you heard about a white teenager who went, I'm talking about a white girl, a white female girl went off with a group of black folk and she just disappeared. Nobody knew anything. Nobody heard nothing. She was just never seen from again, and nobody heard anything, seen anything, said anything. She just gone. Oh yeah, and the police and the media was like, oh well, she just gone. Tell me her name. When has that ever happened? Show me a white kid who was hanging out with a group of black kids and one of the black kids pushed them into the river and they nearly drowned and nobody got charged. Give me that one. Give me that one. Give me that one where a black person pushed a white kid into the river, into the lake. They nearly drowned. And authorities just said, no crime here. Let me know. Let me know that name. I want that name. Don't tell me you heard of something. Tell me the name. Yeah, don't treat me like I don't know what's going on and I'm the one who doesn't get it. No, explain to me how in the hell this happens. There's a whole bunch of folks out here who want to believe that they can parent on autopilot, that you can park your children in front of social media, and that if your kids ain't looking for trouble, trouble ain't looking for them, and you just want to believe that you can sit back and take it easy and that you do not have to be an active black parent. There's a bunch of folks who want to believe that. And I'm just letting you know that's not the way that goes. That's not the way that goes. You might want to believe that you've crossed over and believe, well, we can just sit back and take it easy. No, you cannot. No, you can't. That's not the way that works. So for those of you who are wondering what my commentary was on it, this has been my commentary. It's been my commentary about that. You got young black folk here. You're supposed to be letting them know exactly where they are. You see, there's a reason why with these other situations that didn't happen. When you have a group of black folk with you, you notice that folk don't just disappear. If there's even 2 or 3 other black folk there, y'all notice it's not just they just vanished. Ain't nobody seen nothing. You notice how that doesn't happen when that occurs? When there's some other black folk around, nobody just mysteriously vanishes and then turns up later drowned and dead. You notice how that occurs like that? It's never like that. When you're by yourself, you're prone to just disappear and vanish. Isn't it amazing? Whenever there's some black witnesses, something might happen to you, but just disappearing and vanishing, that's not really on the menu. Isn't that interesting? However, you might disagree. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and pin the Zoom link here on the chat room. We're going to go ahead and pin the Zoom link there in the chat room. You are more than welcome to give us a call about that. If you've been instructed by my mods to call in, it's not just a great nifty idea, that is an order. In the meantime here, let me give a big shout out here to my man Shy for the first place here.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
Yeah, he's been letting us know that he's on code, so I wanted to let the brother know I appreciate that, as always, because it's about folks who are on code about this. Shout out here to Karen. We appreciate that here as well, too, to my man Burke C, Paul B. Thank you very much for your support. Nancy King. Nancy King was here tonight for us here, so we appreciate that as well as everybody else here who's contributed to support tonight's program. We appreciate that as always. Shout out Mr. Richburg. I see you on deck there, brother. We're going to take a very brief non-commercial break. When we come back, I got some other stuff I want to show you all here, as a matter of fact. I want to show you all that, too. We're also going to be taking your calls here on Zoom and more. This is the Black Channel.
Be the teacher, knowledge on the block. Got the kids learning, minds open like a lock. Books and skills from the east to the west. Bringing education, yeah, we're simply the best. Classes on fire, brains burning with desire. Innovation driving like a tire through the mire. Math, science, history, we got the whole range. Kids hitting new heights, teachers making a change. Used to be the teacher, stacking up the grades. Future bright shining, no need for no shades. Got the youth thriving, moving up the ladder. Smart and sharp, brains growing fatter. Lessons so lit, yeah, they staying ablaze. Every mind sharp like a sword in the haze. Mr. B in the house breaking knowledge chains. Education kingpin, we repping the games. Used to be the teacher.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. And we're going to go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. The lines are open. All right, brother, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Jason, you speaking the truth tonight. I mean, everything you said has been on point. I mean, we gotta warn our children, man. No matter what neighborhood you stay in, if you stay in a black neighborhood, white neighborhood, it's definitely be around these white folks, man. You know, my parents taught me young that don't trust them. You can't trust them. Don't go hunting with them. You know, don't go swimming with them. We was taught that at a young age, man. And that's I'm glad they taught me that because I know the spirit of these people, man. And it gets real crazy when they get to drinking and you the only Negro around, man. It's fit to be some drama. It's, you fit to be the target. You the toy they getting ready to play with. And I believe they pushed that one in Dallas. I believe they pushed him in the water to watch him drown. Same thing with Nolan, man. Why would you take his phone when that was an intentional?
But you realize that happened in both cases, though.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Is that I'm making that point to you all. Hey, you do realize that happened in both cases, right? Both them cats. It's like, yeah, they drowned and they cell phone sitting with somebody else. And has anybody noticed that? Okay.
And do you know, Jason?
It's just me. All right.
When the father went to go pick up the car, the kid acted like he didn't know where the keys was at. And I don't know about you or anybody else, man. If I had to go pick up my son's car after he done came up missing with y'all, somebody's gonna get pistol whipped. You're gonna tell me what happened. If I had to pull every last one of your fingernails out, cut your fingers off, slice a little cup, you know what I mean?
He's on some Denzel Washington, the Equalizer stuff. And I'm just saying, brother, what I'm saying is that you can only do that, though, if them your people. You know, if these folks are not your people, they've already gotten on code against you. We're pulling up the rear, so now we're trying to be retroactive when we're supposed to be proactive. Those were not your people. Right. They were not safeguarding your son. They didn't feel any allegiance or acknowledgments to do that. None of them little white girls who were there, ain't nobody said nothing. Now, you know damn well they were watching. None of them has said anything. It's like, no, those ain't your people. So that's the holding them accountable. Of course, you're morally justified to do so, but as far as physically them ain't your people. They took this as an opportunity to show you we ain't your people.
And that no-neck governor, he came out immediately. Oh, I don't see nothing. I don't see no crime. How you got the autopsy wasn't even in, and he was already saying that. That big no-neck bastard, man. So, like you said, Jason, man, you got to teach your children.
You see that is your governor in Mississippi and talking about we don't see color. That's the point I'm making, brother. You see that's your governor in Mississippi and still talking about you don't see colors. How big do the warning signs have to be before you take it seriously at this point? Because when you see that fella, how big does the warning sign got to be beyond that?
Yeah. So be one, Jason. I mean, this is crazy out here, but y'all stay safe, man. Guard your children, man. Be one.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Hey, folks, all I can do is warn you. A bunch of y'all take a look at these, you take a look at these governors and mayors and sheriffs. I'm like straight out of Mississippi burning, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. I'm like, okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can get Linda up here on Zoom for me here right quick. Let me see if I can get Linda up here. All right, everybody here is on Zoom. Just make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on just so we don't have any trolling issues. YouTube is not going to see you. The only person who'll see you is me, but just make sure there's no trolling issues. Make sure you have that on. All right, we got Linda here on Zoom. I think we do.
Can I turn my camera off, though?
All right, Linda, what's on your mind?
Can I turn my camera
off? No, just leave it where it is. You and I are fine. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm hello, brother. I'm from a little town called Bastrop, Louisiana. I graduated from the University
I'm very
Louisiana
familiar.
Monroe. But I feel kind of sad for our young men these days because I don't think they know. Because I'm 52 years old, and I was always taught the same thing. You don't go hunting with them. You don't go fishing with them. I have nephews that still live in the Bastrop Monroe area. They're in their 20s. And, I try to caution them about things, but they just don't listen. I don't know if it's social media.
Where are their parents?
Their parents, my sister, we try to tell them. They don't listen.
Who's the we? Who's the we? Who's the we?
We is my sister, my
Okay.
sister's husband. They're
Okay.
into this gaming stuff. They don't believe, we offer to. They're into this digital creation thing and gaming. I don't know. They're just so into social media. They think they're so trusting, and they don't realize that it's not real, or they think that we're making these things up. So my heart does go out
Okay,
for them,
let me
but I
find
just
out here. I mean, if you're out there in Bastrop and whatnot, have their parents taken them to the plantations?
of course.
Okay, which
We
one
used to
they
go to
take
New
them to?
Orleans. That's
Turn off your
we took
speakers,
it.
Linda. Turn off your YouTube. Turn off your
Oh,
YouTube. I hear an echo.
oh, the echo. Okay.
Yeah, turn off YouTube.
Uh,
It's repeating everything.
is it better now?
We'll find out here in a moment. What plantations we done took them to? Where have they seen? What police department, sheriff's department have they taken them to?
Oh, we know about the Rodney Green case. We went to Whitney Plantation. We know about Jackson Square. Been all around New Orleans. My mom used to show us, the little known Black history facts. My mom's 80, but it's like they're just so
Right. I mean,
interested.
I get that. I mean, that's you and y'all. What about them? What about them kids? Have they made the same
But I'm
trek? Because it doesn't sound like it.
Oh no, we've taken them. We've taken them to Jackson Square, Whitney Plantation. Yes, they're 20. My nephew. I'm embarrassed to say this. He met one of those women on Facebook dating. As we have a child. He said it was a one night stand. They're just so. And I'm like, something. She could have killed you. She could have set you up. Why would you go to her house? But
Okay.
it's like they just don't. Listen to us. So
Ma'am,
I do
okay.
feel
Look,
for the
I would
parents.
love to be. I'm from Louisiana also, ma'am, Shreveport. Ma'am, young men here don't get taught like that. So if the parents are sitting back and here, hold this Xbox controller and just Jesus take the wheel, then this is what you come up with. So if chicks are able to get pregnant and we're just unsuspecting and we're colorblind, we're raising them for the grave, man. You can't have naive black males out here. Black males in Louisiana cannot afford to be naive. They can't
I
afford to be trusting. Everybody's dependent on getting over on you. So being trusting just makes you a sitting duck. I gotta lay this at the feet of the parents. I have to. I was born and raised here. Do you know how hard it is to be naive in Louisiana? That takes work.
I know they and my poor mother, she's 80. They don't even like to visit her anymore because she used to fuss at them so about, the pants and pulling your pants up, stop wearing hoodies in the summer. But
No, we got a
it's just they
spoiled
just
issue here,
don't.
baby. This is Louisiana. You supposed to love grandmama. Grandmama's supposed to be griping
I,
at you. She's supposed to be fussing at you. And you supposed to be over there every
but they just
Sunday.
Well, I live in Sugar Land, Texas now, so I'm
Oh,
not. Yeah,
boy.
but we grew up like that, but it's like they're just different,
We
Even they
can't
don't
raise
even
them
talk to
soft.
me anymore.
Oh, boy. They raised them soft,
I
baby. They
know.
raised them
Maybe
soft. I got to call it for what it is. They raised them soft. They raised them. Here's your Xbox controller. Here's your cell phone. They're out of touch with the soil. Don't
yeah.
worry. The girls will take care of you. And the dad is off doing what he do. Let's just call it what it is. And there's no way that you have a masculine black male presence who's overseeing them and supervising under those circumstances. That's just not the case. You let them do that and then they grow up naive. And we're in a situation where naivete gets us killed. It gets us killed. Because you said he got pregnant by a young lady. Is she black or what?
She's mixed. Somebody he just met on Facebook dating. He said, she just invited him to the house, and
Here,
so
want to
he
have a
just
baby?
went there
Okay.
and
Just,
well, that had sex, and he said it was a one-time thing, but I'm like, I know you're not telling the truth. I know you're not. So they just don't tell us anything, but they just don't. And the other thing, like I said, they don't listen. It's like they don't
okay.
value what we have to say, and
Well, wait a minute.
like I
Let
said,
me ask you something a little bit closer to home now, Linda. Because you're the only person
okay.
who'll be able to answer this. Now, his mother is your sister?
Yes.
Okay. When y'all grew up, Was she a little bit wayward like that too? Like we all people and colorblind and all that stuff? Did she have like Backstreet Boys posters on the wall or whatever, man? Be honest now. Be honest.
No, we were Prince, Michael.
I see that look in your eyes. I see that look in your eyes. No. I'm sniffing some Britney Spears around here. I'm sniffing some Zac Efron, some Brad Pitt, and some Tom Cruise, ma'am. I just saw the look in your eyes. It just gave you away.
We like Madonna and all that. No.
There you go.
I will say this. I will admit it. We didn't believe. We had to sit down with our mom and tell us a lot of things she did was wrong. We felt like she was too strict. So no, we don't grow up popping our kids or whipping it. We don't. We believe in using your words.
How'd that work
a little
out?
bit better educated.
And how'd that work out?
I don't think you should hit I don't think you should hit people. We just don't think like that. That's just. Okay. But I don't think that would have helped them.
Linda, let me tell you why you're wrong about that. Okay. Let me explain to you. I'm not talking to you from the standpoint of somebody who just dropped in from Mars. I'm a lifelong resident in Louisiana. Black male, half a century. I don't say that because that's culture, history. You need to spank your damn children, especially your black males, for one reason. Because it will establish to them very early in life that if you step wrong and got it in your head that people will not put their hands on you, you better get that illusion out of your head quickly. You are in a place where you step wrong and they'll take your damn head off, literally. So the first thing that your mother and your grandparents teach you is when you step wrong, folks will put their hands on you to establish to them this is a real thing. This is not conjecture. This is not guessing. Because the problem is they go diddy bopping through life. Okay, he went to go see old girl from Facebook or Snapchat or wherever in the hell he met her on. And what I'm saying is that she's one of these, I mean, that is a stomp down hoe right there is what that is. I've been with chicks like that before. She got a chick who give it up that easy. She got dudes in and out the house. She's talking to 3 and 4 dudes at the same time. Okay, your nephew shows up over there thinking it's finally about time somebody gave me something. And then next thing you know, hey, Shmeeka, what you in there doing? Who you in there with? And he's like, who is that? That's my other baby daddy. Oh, I didn't know he was in town. He's supposed to be in jail. What? He's supposed to be in jail. I didn't know he was on parole. They let him out.
Yeah, you put your life at risk. We did talk to him about that, but fortunately, we have the little girl. So she didn't want the baby, so we have her. But
right, but what I'm saying is that if you don't raise them to understand that, hey, everybody ain't gonna talk to you. Well, we're just gonna talk to him and naughty, James, you shouldn't do that. Okay, you're giving him the impression that everybody's gonna talk to him. You're giving him the impression that everyone's going to be civil. Have you turned on the news in any city in Louisiana? That ain't life. So you all are giving a fantasy world option. They need to be aware as quickly as possible. Folks will knock you clean on your ass, and that's being nice. Do you know how many black teenagers get killed out here?
Oh, yeah. We definitely know that. But see, I guess the problem is I had 4 girls. My mom grew up hitting us with extension cords, switches. I mean,
welcome to Louisiana.
And we didn't want our kids to be like that, to grow up in that in that terror. So that's why we chose a different path.
All I can say is take a look at you and your level of naivete, and then take a look at the kids and their level of naivete, and you tell me whose parenting turned out better. You take a look at how suspecting you are, and then take a look at how unsuspecting your teaching did. I'm just going to let that speak. No disrespect, none whatsoever. I'm just being objective. Okay, we didn't like this and like that. All right, you might not have liked how you got there, but you are a whole lot less naive and unsuspecting. Now, the children are out here in the most dangerous environment, and they're completely unsuspecting, and anybody who tells them, come on over, here they go. Expecting that, what's the worst that'll happen? Somebody will wave their finger in my face. That's literally the way they're facing life. So, no, bring back that old time religion. Bring grandmama back with the switches. Bring back grandmama with
They're
the
in their
switches and the
20s.
belts.
I don't have any kids. I'm 52. I didn't want any kids, but my siblings, they all had kids. But it's just we were raised kind of hard. So
kind of hard.
Like I said, But I'm thankful because we were joined the military. We're all educated, but we just didn't like that my mom's parenting style. So and we just didn't want to
Okay, what about your dad?
My dad actually committed suicide when I was 2.
Okay.
So he was a Vietnam War vet, but their fathers are in their lives. So,
okay. Well, I'm just talking about for you because that just tells me the origin of it there. So if you have a female and she's raising, it sounds like she had a bunch of daughters.
Yes, it's 4 of us.
Okay, so 4 daughters, no sons.
No.
Okay. That can create an interesting dynamic there, especially if she's a young mother, the man's dead early and whatnot. So I can understand that she's going to rely on the old ways there. What I will tell you is that character is built through hardship. So I'm never going to be a person who condemns that. Softness breeds the worst things, quite frankly. Naivete is a terrible thing because let me tell you, everybody is ready for a nice, quiet day. All it takes is one day of hell breaking loose and you're all dead. Just one. It doesn't take 15 of them. Just one day. If you were in the military, you know that. It just takes one day of that occurring.
I agree with that, but like I said, we were 4 girls trying, and we just didn't want, and then we had and then they all had boys, my sisters.
Thank you.
So it was just kind of different.
Yeah, I mean, it creates a different dynamic because I know what that's like. You got all your siblings are females, there's a bunch of females in the house. I understand that can create issues there, so that's very unfortunate. Then you all gonna have kids and it's all males. So now we done flip-flop the other way and you're not used to males being around at all. And what happens is that females who did not grow up with a man in the house or other males around them, they tend to coddle their boys. They want to be super protective. And so they end up, instead of letting him letting him skin his knee and hurt his fingers and whatnot and become a man, what some females tend to do is coddle the boys. So you basically explained.
They were actually pretty good boys, though. They were actually really good boys. They were growing up. They were good boys.
What makes a boy good?
They followed the rules. They
Wrong.
made good grades. They didn't fight.
Wrong.
They just
everything you just said is wrong. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, they never got suspended from school. They listened to their teachers. It was just when they hit 20, when they were men, that's when we started having issues.
Well, yeah, because they've been told they can do anything they want to. Now, let me explain to you what makes a good man. Our sole function is to be protectors and providers. Everything you just named is a set of rules that they establish in a classroom somewhere. 50 Cent said, life is not a classroom. So you see, when it's time to be a protector, that means I'm going to do what's necessary. Damn your rules. If somebody got to get put down, I don't care what your rule is. He's getting put down. So you see, raising them to say whatever a teacher says is right. Whatever a police officer says is automatically right. Meanwhile, over there in white society, they don't teach that. Donald Trump, George W. Bush, their whole damn administration. White folk don't teach their children this stuff you talking about. You were in the military. Did the white officers follow the rules?
Oh, of course not. I was enlisted and later became a commissioned officer. Of course not. And I was treated poorly.
Right. But now that's what they live by. And yet, what are y'all teaching y'all's kids? Follow the rules, stay within the lines, don't disobey. Okay, but if the teacher is a racist, does he still not disobey?
They talked to us about it, and we dealt with it.
Right, but that's not him learning to deal with it. So if the teacher is a racist, do we still obey? If the teacher tells him to wear a watermelon on his head in class, do you still want a good, obedient student? Do you still want your son to be a good, obedient student?
We wouldn't allow that. We'd go to the school. My sister's a teacher, actually.
Okay, so but how would you stop it if you're in the classroom, Linda? Come on now. If you're not in the classroom there and the teacher tells him, we're gonna have a school play. All right, today we're having a school play rehearsal, y'all. Everybody here, you're gonna be the plantation owners. Linda's son is going to be wearing the watermelon on his head, and we're gonna do this now, baby. You're not gonna find this out till they get home. That's my point. That's a
And
fantasy you make it up. Okay.
When we're at home, we go talk. We can have a conversation with the teacher.
Yes, but that
happening.
is not your son doing it. That's you doing it. And what I'm saying is, you already said, I've taught him to follow the rules, obey the teachers, be a law-abiding citizen. And what I'm saying is, yeah, that's not what men do. A man does not teach his son that. He would have taught his son, by the way, they try some humiliation ritual with you. I'm telling you, you deal with that right then, right there. And they can call me and I will tell them, hell yeah, he went off on y'all because I said to do that. And that's the lesson he will carry through life with him, is that when situations happen, he's the one who has the authority to take care of it as he sees fit right then, right there. Not go run and get your mama. Which I know that's not what you're thinking it is. You're not thinking that's what you're doing. I'm just letting you know that's exactly what y'all were doing. And now they're grown men, and they've adopted
to go swimming with them, though. That was the thing. Our mom taught, and we taught them those things too. But they're just so trusting. We didn't teach them to be trusting like that.
You just explained that you taught them to be trusting. You just explained it. You just literally just explained it. Well, that's not what we taught them. That's literally what you just said you taught them.
But I'm saying my mom taught us not to go swimming. I played varsity, junior varsity, and varsity softball, basketball. It was mostly white girls. I knew I couldn't go
because you knew your mama would have a paddle or a belt or an extension cord or whatever else she could get her hands on.
Let me go. If I asked, the answer was no, and I wasn't gonna go.
And you overcorrected in the extreme the other way and made very agreeable sons. And now, if the random chick tells them come here and her brothers show up, your sons are going to be agreeable because they were not raised to be what men are, disagreeable. They've got feminine traits. And this is the natural result of that. So that's why I said, what do you think makes a man? And intuitively, you went to coddling. Oh, law-abiding and polite. No, that's what makes a girl. That's what makes a woman. That's not what makes a protector and provider. That's not what makes a man. And by the way, you were in the military. They taught you that there too, by the way. In the military, they taught you that also. They did not teach.
Oh, definitely.
They did not teach you to be obedient, or you were a nurse?
Yeah. I'm still a nurse.
Why didn't I know that? Why didn't I know?
Air Force, right?
You're an RN. You're an RN, aren't you? With those teeth.
I'm a nurse practitioner now.
Oh, I'm about to say, with those teeth, there's no way you a CNA or an LPN. You are straight up. She's got her credentials. Oh, I can see her.
I have a doctorate. Yeah.
Oh, you are Zaddy's delight. Oh, I can see right now. You the white men love hitting on you. Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying? I didn't say you.
They love me, but I don't go. They like me, but I don't. They're not my type.
Okay, I know they've been pushing up on them draws for 20 years, but in any case, I would be remiss if I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge she has her Prince earrings on. What? So she's got.
Oh yes, I'm a Prince fan.
Okay, clear. I'm about to say Zaddy is all over her, boy. It's just hey there, Linda. Would you like to come down on my yacht down here with me to the bay? We're going down to Galveston.
No, I'm not. No. I've never dated outside of my race. I like the brothers. So no.
All right, well stay off the boat, Linda, because if you go down there and say no, if you get disagreeable,
I'm definitely gonna stay off the boat. But I was just thinking Nolan end up in the same situation with my just so trusting, and I feel kind of sad for them, but I
hope you've learned a lesson from that, Linda. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, boy, I can see her. Hey, Linda, why don't you come on down here? We're going down to Galveston Bay. You can get on my yacht. Yeah. Let me go ahead. Where's on the screen there? Let me see. Come on down here, Linda. Let me get Ashley Janae's bags out of here. What? Come on down here in my yacht, Linda. I got to get Ashley Janae's bags off my yacht right quick. But once I get these, come on down here. We're going down here all week. I've got my new Madonna records, and I got the LP. Yeah, that is not what makes a man. Being agreeable, a man's gonna sit there with his sons and say, "Hey, man, you don't let folk make a monkey of you. You don't let folk make a clown of you. You take care of that." But let me tell you what my folks told me. My folks told me if somebody puts their damn hands on you, you try to knock their ass in the middle of next week. And if the school got anything to say, you let me deal with the school. You deal with the problem in front of you because I'm your parents and I've authorized you to do that. If the school got something to say, I'm coming up there to take care of that. That's how Daddy Black deal with that. You stomp a mud hole in their ass because I told you that's how you deal with that, because my job is to prepare you for life. And that school is not the final say on a damn thing. They got something to say about what I instructed you to do. They can take that up with me. Now, that's how a man raises his sons. Yeah, you gonna get good grades, that's great, but that agreeable thing, whoa. Let me explain to you what you're agreeable about. You say yes, sir, and no, ma'am. That's politeness. We got that. Folks step out of line, agreeable go out the window. But the school's rules, damn them people rules. Damn them people rules. You're supposed to teach your children that young so that they're not in trepidation about that when they get older. It's like y'all's rules apply only to this extent. After that, new rule. That's how a man raises his sons. So I just wanted to get enough questions in there, let y'all know it's like, yeah, all that agreeable stuff, man, damn all that. Damn all that. No, they need to be polite. They need to be law-abiding, agreeable. And agreeable got parameters. Agreeable has limits. We need sons who know when to be disagreeable, who know when to enforce boundaries. Go get your mom. You're not going to be able to go get your mom. You're not going to be able to go get your mom. The other thing is it teaches your sons that they are responsible for the situations that they're in. You can go get with some little scallywag, little slut over here if you want to. You're going to be responsible for that. Keep yourself out of trouble. No, we don't need agreeable men when there's danger. They need to be taught early. You are a male and we expect you to handle dangerous situations. You don't handle them being agreeable. You handle them being disagreeable as hell. That's how you handle that. Let me get back over here on Zoom. Let me see if I can get the Watsons up here on Zoom for me here. If the Watsons are paying attention, let me open this window up a little bit more. They might not be paying attention. Hey, folks, if you're on Zoom and you're in and out and you're paying attention, but you're not really paying attention, we're going to just move on. The Watsons, I'll give you 3 more seconds here, and then we're going to have to move on. Make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. I'll give you 2 more seconds, then we got to move on. I'll give you 1 more second here, and then we have to move on. Okay, the Watsons are having technical difficulties. Let me go see if we can get Motorola up here. Whoever's on Motorola, let's see if we can get them up here. I'll give y'all 5 seconds, and then we got to move on here, folks. I don't know what they were thinking. They might be going to go check and see if Zaddy got the yacht pulled up for them. What? Yeah, man. And some folk learned some new things here tonight. All that, what makes a man? Well, it'd be nice and all about it. Tie your tennis shoes, man. Look here. And meanwhile, the folk who run the damn society are doing the exact opposite. Everything from Epstein Island to crypto scams to whatever. You take a look at the folk who run the world and run society. They ain't doing any of this stuff these people talking about. They're not doing any of that. Let's see if we can get FBA all day up here on Zoom. FBA all day, what's on your mind? Unmute yourself, sir. Lower left-hand corner.
What's going on, Jason?
All right, what's on your mind?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? I'm playing to the... Oh, shit, I thought I did. Hold on. Okay.
Yes, sir, you're on. What's on your mind?
You got me?
Yes, sir, we have you. What's on your mind, sir?
Okay, cool. Pleasure to meet you, man. Listen, I got a question. I got a question, right? The question I got is basically, how do I get to my nephew, right? Because like my sisters and everybody else in the family, they call me like a Black Panther nationalist or whatever, and it's not that I'm that. It's just I'm very conscious about what's going on in the world as far as these people go and how they treat our people or whatnot. And I just want to, I don't know, get some advice on how I can get to my nephew because like he like about 13 years old right now. Very bright kid, outgoing, love to talk to people, a joy to be around. I just want to get to him like, hey, you can't be all buddy buddy with everybody, friends with everybody. You gotta watch out. You know what I'm saying? What's going on around you? But
well, that takes time to do that because the real thing is when you got a family, you got your screwy ass brothers and sisters. They sitting up here trying to rebel against their parents 30 years later with all this old garbage going on, and they trying to make a soft, cushy life, brother. A soft, cushy life didn't make us lions.
Right.
A soft, cushy life. Let me tell you, I come from the old damn school. She talking about mama had whooped with extension cords. Do you know what grandmamas did in Shreveport back in the day? What?
Damn. Grandma had the switches, man.
Okay, listen to me, dude. You're being polite when you say she had a switch. That's you being polite. Let me tell you, I come from a block where them chicks, they picked up what was at hand.
And deal with it, nigga.
You talking about a switch or a belt. Them old women picked up what was at hand. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, is it a broom, a mop? Ain't no telling what the hell coming at you. Hope she wasn't ironing.
Oh, shit.
Okay, ain't no telling what the hell coming at you. So I suggest you be on your damn P's and Q's. We dropping you off at grandmama house. It's like, okay, there ain't gonna be no acting up over here. And you want to talk about a code of silence? Anybody ask nothing? Nobody asked anything. She run the yard. Do you hear me? She run the yard. If she said she had to get on your ass, that was the end of that. You ain't got no court of appeals. There's nobody for you to go to. Talking about what she hit you with and whatnot. I come from the old school, dude. So these kids out here today and they want to coddle them and whatnot. Okay, and then you wonder why these white folk take a look at them and be like, easy meat. Right. Because that's not what they teaching their kids. Ain't that right, Austin Metcalf? They got them with guns and AR-15s and beating up other folk. Now, if you 6 foot something in high school, ain't you supposed to be looking out for the little kids? They saying, oh hell, you the big bully here. And proud of it. My son's the big bully. While we sitting up here teaching your damn kids when, just talk to them and you shouldn't lay hands on anybody. Okay, what did Austin Metcalf do? Straight to laying hands on you. He didn't even say hello. Straight to putting hands on you. George Zimmerman, straight to putting hands on you. Got folk out here out their damn minds with their damn fantasy talk. These folk ain't talking to your kids. Straight to putting hands on them. And the kids are looking around all crazy. And then they start squealing and yelling because nobody taught them that you're in a world where that's what the hell folk do and nobody prepared them. So the first time it happens, they just spaz out. They don't know what to do. They start squealing and yelling for their mama. So that's what happens when they're not used to that. First thing they teach you in boxing is how to take a hit.
Yeah.
Okay, because they know you're going to get hit. It's great to be Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather Jr. got hit. This idea, you're trying to avoid that. No, you need to be prepared to deal with that. Are we preparing you to deal with that? No. So raising soft children, just understand your opposition is depending on you to do that. As long as your children are more fragile and more tender than his kids are, his kids gonna win. His kids don't have to be great. They just have to be less fragile than yours.
Right.
That's all. So if you got screwy ass sisters and brothers and they messing up the damn kids, in some cases you're gonna have to be like the baby daddy. You're the baby daddy and You got this hoe over here pregnant. She in the club. She's wearing these damn multicolored socks and with the white toenail polish and the clear stripper heels and stuff. Bruh, that's what you marry. When the kids are with you, they'll be all right. When they get with her, they stick with her too long. And next thing you know, and for you fellas out there, some of you are divorced, some of y'all got kids. I know they stick around these women too long. And it's like, you got too much of your mama in you. You got too much of your mama. Yeah, she spent time with you, but she been with that hoe you got pregnant so much. You got too much of your mama in you now. It's like, I know that. That's what I meant. You got too much. I'm trying to be a dad, but you got too much of your mama in you. And that's going to be something that a lot of you with your nieces and nephews are going to have to understand. They're not your kids, so your level of influence is legally, limited.
Right.
I mean, it'd be great if you could. It'd be great if you could throw their ass in the back of the trunk and take them away, but you can't do that. So what I recommend, you don't want to just be the cool uncle. They don't want to hear a fellow who's just complaining all the time. You got to have game to give them, and they understand things by seeing, not by being told. So your ability to take them places is important. They're going to run the white supremacy anywhere. The real thing is what's explained to them. Take them to Six Flags, take them to Disney World. You go take them to some place that's on the other side of the tracks. They're going to meet it. The real question is, does somebody explain to them exactly what it was they saw? Because if your brothers and your sisters they're being exposed to that and they're brushing it off when the kids come to them, that's how it's getting screwed up. So as much time as they can spend with their uncle, it's summertime and whatnot, take them kids somewhere. Take them kids somewhere where they can be around some folk. And it might cost you some money, but you want them to be in an environment where they can see they're being treated differently. And somebody brings to their attention, did you see how they pushed y'all to the side like that? Like the little girl at, what was that, Disney World? The person dressed up in the big outfit shook hands with all the other kids except the little black girl. You need Uncle FBA there to come in. Hey, baby, did you see they did that? Uh-huh. Do you think it's because they didn't see you? Nah. Take a look at them other kids. What do you notice? Did you notice that he shook hands with all the white kids, but not you? Brother, that doesn't take years to make that point right there. That takes seconds. It clicks. So remember, young people learn by what they see. You wagging your finger, that just, they'll all write that off and say, he just grizzled and he been hanging out with that nigga Jason Black and all they do over there is whine and complain. When they get in the real world and see it themselves, they can't deny that. So for folk like you, y'all need to take some time away with your nieces and nephews. That's really the only thing that's really the biggest and best thing, because anything else is going to be very, very limited. In which case, maybe you can catch them when they get older, but by then the rot's in the woods. So that's really where it is with the young folk. If you can take them with you somewhere so they can go experience that, and you can supervise them and debrief them about what they're seeing, that's probably the most powerful thing you have.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, y'all, look, I understand. You got some screwball ass sisters and brothers, and these niggas is trying to sit up here and dream their way to Buckhead, or dream their way to Melrose, or dream their way to Brickell, and the first thing they start doing, ain't no white supremacy. Y'all niggas need to stop complaining down here. I mean, there's some bad folks out there, but there's a lot of good folks too. Don't let one bad apple. Get this nigga out of here. So it becomes that. It becomes that, man. So that's what the hell you end up being with. All right, we got Dr. Galen here. You sure do look like a doctor. Turn off your YouTube. I can hear me speaking on YouTube. Turn your YouTube off for me.
Turn my YouTube off. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. With that, how do women put that turban on their heads like that? Ma'am, I could never in my life I'd have to have some duct tape on to get it to stick like that. That looks strong too. I bet you could punch it like a punching bag. What? How do women do that?
It's not hard at all.
It's hard as hell. I'm telling you, it's hard as hell. Try to get some men to do that. We'll just be sitting here all night trying to engineer a way to get that turban to fit like that. Ain't gonna happen.
Well, thank you for answering my call. I just want to make a few comments. First of all, I just want to say I'm disturbed like everybody else. You know, all my life, I have said that these white women are going to be the death of our Black men. And I just don't understand how these parents wait until their children grow up to be teenagers and then decide to teach them about the dangers of racism. You have to teach your children when they are small children. You have to let them read books. You have to let them read articles. They have to see for themselves those people that kill us. They have to read that and see that for themselves. And, you know, I feel bad for Nolan's parents, but I think that they did him a disservice to make him think that he was above this racist system. If somebody else had on another podcast that every last woman that he has ever been with is a white girl. And to think that these white men are not angry at that. Remember 15 or 20 years ago when that change started where they would come on and say, Black woman, how do you feel about the Black man going to the white woman? What we should have been saying, how does that white man feel that that white woman doesn't want him? These white men are seething. There was a white guy that came on and said, he said, Black men, white men, thank you. Thank you that we are starting to be white men again, which means we got to do what we got to do to get these Negroes from our white women. So, you know, my thing is, what the hell are we doing? And when will it stop? Does another 1,000 of us have to die? Do another 1,000 of our children have to die before we teach them, you know, the horrors of racism? The first thing I think we need to do is get them out this Christian church, because this Christian church just say, love everybody, don't see no color, you know, forgive everybody. No, 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 no. When will we learn? That's what I want to know. When in the hell will we learn as Black people we need to stay with each other? There's nothing better for a Black man than a Black woman. There's nothing better for a Black woman than a Black man. You know, it's crazy. And I'm tired of it. I'm so upset, you know, with our people. Do we hate ourselves that much? Do you know, I wouldn't want to be no other color but the color that I am. I am Black and I am proud to be Black. And I love my Black men. I wouldn't even think about looking at a white man or any other nationality of race. I love my Black man. So that's all I got to say. I'm just fired up. This just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, I don't have any children, but it's a good thing, because I'm telling you, those kids would not be alive. I would already ask the Most High to forgive me, because I would do some stuff that I know he would not approve of. But I just couldn't have my only child, my oldest dead because of some crap like that. I used to live in Mississippi, and those Black people have some kind of strange mentality. It's different. They know their place. Most of them know their place. Now, I don't know what happened with this one, but I'm telling you, it's a shame and a pity. And I just want to know how many more deaths is it going to take for us to teach our kids what we should not be going after? That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. And that is very, very true. You got to take the situation seriously. Let the sister spit. You got to take those are the kind of old women I grew up with right there. Those are the kind of old women I grew up with. Didn't split no hairs, didn't mince no words. They let you know exactly what the deal was. You know why? Because when you hear it like that, harsh. For some folks that think mama was too harsh, we need mama to talk just like that right there. Ain't no mincing no words, ain't no splitting no hairs. You know why? Because she's letting you know exactly what is expected of you. That's what we don't have today. We got a bunch of Insta thoughts out here trying to escape to some fantasy post-racial America, and meanwhile you're sitting around here the damn sitting ducks. You see, as older black men, we supposed to see a young black man like this right here and be like, hey, dude, you think all these fellas here are cool to see the little white girls pushing up on you? You think that's all right? You think that's going over okay? Ah, man, that's good. Don't worry about that. Who taught you that? My dad. And unfortunately, she said, how many does it take? I hope it's only one. Because right now, we need a wake-up call about that. So the folk who sit up here and play silly, okay. No, say it just like it is. As the Bible says, cry loud and spare not. Say it just like it is. These young men need to hear it just like that. Those are women that they respect if they know what the hell they're talking about, because they realize the problem is you'll have older males sitting up here and they didn't get their turn to get into interracial society. And man, I sure do wish they give me a chance to come through there. All that old garbage going on right there. Let's just say it like it is. They on that old bull crap and whatnot, and I want to see what they like on that other side, man. Damn that other side over there. Confused as hell, and then when they miss their chance, they sit up here and tell the next generation. They try to live vicariously through the next generation of boys, and then, man, go on over there and go get that. Sit your old ass down. When you are a parent and you are responsible for these kids and whatnot, you ain't got time to sit up here and play no damn games. You know where the hell you at. And they're just showing you right now, yes, your kids can come up missing and all of them get together and be like, yep, we on code. And your kid just gone. Just gone. And they're still sitting there today. We ain't found no wrongdoing. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. We got Roland here on Zoom. Roland, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing tonight, Jason? Again, another great broadcast. I really just wanted to make a couple of comments about a couple of observations that I made. So we always talk about the things that we teach our children, what not to do and who not to hang with. But to be honest, I see a lot of adults that still haven't learned that lesson.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it in the workplace. I see it in social interactions. I just see it, I mean, really throughout every area that Nilly fully talked about. They really still haven't learned that lesson. And another point I wanted to make was look at both of the parents, like we talked about Nolan Wells. The dad wasn't enforcing some of those things that we learned from our mothers, our grandmothers about who you're hanging out with, where you going with. I don't even know, was the mother FBA? Because that seems like something that mothers like very much so imprint into you. I mean, I had both my mom and my dad, but it was more so my mother that was always like, hey, who you going with? Do I know their mother? Do I know their grandmother? Who's this? Who's older brother? That mom, I don't think she was imprinting that. It seems like they would just let them just go with whoever and do whatever, no matter how old he is. I got it. He was 18 years old, but my mom was telling me stuff like that. I mean, both my parents were, but really, so my mom was even with people that other people that were FBA. If I was going with a group of people, she would be like, hey, you need to be cautious of who you're hanging with, who you're rolling with, You need to pay attention to what's going on around you. You need to make sure you're in at a certain time, not just because I'm trying to control you, because it's a safety thing. It's a security thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, first of all, everything you said is absolutely correct, because that's what I was just getting to before you got on there, is that I got to put this at the feet of these men. The fellas my age and whatnot, are y'all actually teaching these young fellas what's going on, or are y'all trying to teach them how to vicariously make up for the interracial sexual access you didn't have? that you don't feel like you slept with enough non-black women, so you cheering them on because you reminiscing about what you didn't get to do or whatever the case may be. And meanwhile, you throwing these boys out there in the damn Shark Tank with them completely unaware, because let's just call it what it is. I mean, what you getting at? Nolan's sitting there thinking about the girls and not really acknowledging the group of guys around him.
It was not on the swivel at all.
He's sitting up there. His eye is on the prize. He's worrying about the girls. And it's like, you don't see all these males around you? Some of them grown. You don't see these men around here? You don't see that you're circled by them? And no, he's tunnel vision on the females, and they told him, but don't worry, I mean, if the girls choose you, that's just too bad for them. Okay, this ain't no damn sport, man. If the girls look at you the wrong damn way, them fellas are going to be like, okay, this will teach them hoes about looking in the wrong places. Hey, absolutely. If y'all hadn't been looking at Nolan, he'd still be here. So next time y'all think about that, that better be on your conscience, because that's not our fault, that's yours.
Hey.
Now, you know that's what white supremacy tell them. That's not our fault, that's yours. You're the reason that happened to him. If y'all hadn't done that, it wouldn't have gone down like that.
Absolutely.
You think their parents told them anything different? So
no,
that's what I'm talking about. The men are not saying that, and then they're sitting out here playing this vicarious game. Okay, but you ain't sitting there. He's the one sitting there by himself.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I was about to say. But what did another fellow say? By the time they're 13 years old, they fully understand racism, so they're already looking at him as the competition anyway, because they already got that subconscious inferiority. That subconscious inferiority that we're going to take something from them, and they embed that into their mind. And so he didn't even know that he was like you gave the analogy about the Blade party. He didn't even know he was the prey.
Well, I mean, here's the issue here. In a perfect world, I guess you could be objective about that. Here's the issue, though. For them, especially in Mississippi, he's an exotic nigga.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, he's not no typical FBA nothing. He ain't from the slave fields, so they can look at him and tell, oh, you're different. Obviously, the females are going to be more curious about that. The females are going to be automatically. He's got the edge on them. So if he's talking articulate, he looks different. He's not like everything that the girls have seen. So naturally, they're going to be gravitating to him. That right there, the nonverbal part, bruh. That right there is going to set these dudes off. That nonverbal thing where one of the females will talk to the white guys, but three of them will be standing around trying to talk to Nolan. And if you got a mama going by girl rules, ain't no, well, you know, they just got to suck that up. Suck that up my ass. They're going to sit up here and be like, okay, when these girls get the hell about, we're going to do him a little something. We're going to do him something. And those are the rules they playing by. So I can understand why there would have been that appeal, and nobody is teaching him, hey, bro, they're going to be hating on it. This ain't the game for that. They are going to be hating on that, and you're by your damn self. No, you can be somewhere where it's you and the girls by yourselves. But all these fellas here, no, not you on your damn own, no. Now, as far as his mother is concerned, like I say, I mean, it looks like she's mixed. I mean, real mixed. So folks saying she's like part Filipino. And what I'm saying is I don't know where her headspace is coming from. So I'm not going to cast aspersions there. What I will say is that these mixed chicks got a rep for a reason. And the biggest issue that we have with them is being black when convenient, but primarily they try not to be at all. So when we start talking about racism, especially when they were raised in Asian homes, the first thing the Asians tell you is the niggas do not work hard enough. It's not your fault. It's not racism. They don't work hard enough. Okay, and then next thing you know, something like this happens. And you don't even have a vocabulary to confront white supremacy. When this happens, now all of a sudden you can't blame it on us. Then this happens. That's the issue. And the son was prepared. How? That's why I laid at their feet. Who the hell prepped him for this? Y'all been alive a lot longer than him. Y'all supposed to have him prepped for this.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Y'all supposed to have him prepped for that, man. He ain't supposed to be out here guessing his way through it and stumbling his way through it. Talking about that he don't see color. Oh, man, look here. Okay, did the folk around him see color? Just questioning. Hey, all them folk who were standing around him in Mississippi, did they see color? While you all prepped him to not see color, because you can't help but see it in Mississippi, damn it. All right, let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. We got One Love over here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
Hello, in building. TVA, been a minute, man. You cooking tonight. I wanted to just hit on, because what you had on earlier about the chick with the white dude. This ain't all about, the dudes. Of course, I got my 2 black kids. It ain't all about the dudes. My wife, my wife Trinidadian. Her cousin was supposed to be selling around the world with her so-called husband of 20 years. I think the dude was Greek and Italian. And, my dad stayed in Georgia, Hinesville, right there by Savannah, Fort Stewart. So a hurricane came and she had to leave. So I told her, go ahead and dock in Hilton Head. That's the safest place. They stay in Arizona. So while I'm visiting my dad was sick. My wife came with me. While I'm visiting my dad, she wanted to go visit her cousin over there on Hilton Head. How about that dude showed up out of nowhere with a captain, with another white guy. They came all the way from Arizona. They flew from Arizona all the way to Hilton Head, South Carolina, unannounced. Supposedly, he didn't know where she was at. So my wife kept saying, well, how did he know where we was at? I said, that's still his boat. All he got to do is get the boat number. They going to find it in any dock, any harbor. That dude came to kill her. I ain't jumping no conclusions. The only reason it didn't happen is because one of the other dock people, one of the other people who had their boat docked over there, an old lady, was over there. And he popped in on her, my wife, and the other lady with this other dude, unannounced. And when we left, we came back again to visit my dad. She talking about going over there again. I said, you can't go back over there. I said, she can come over here, but you can't go back over there. What I supposed to tell her? I'm helping her move. I said, you better tell her to get the hell on up out of there. So she had to leave, go Jacksonville. She does, look, like you said, they always get rid of the phone. They cut communication. This guy had done changed her own emails, condensed the bank accounts. So everything was now in her name, changed the passwords to her own email. Basically, digitally, he erased her and then came down now.
No, she was getting ready to disappear.
She was going to disappear for real. And it's sharks in those waters off Hilton Head. It's sharks in those waters. They were going to take the boat.
No.
He had a captain. He had a captain already. So they were going to take the boat. She had to sell her car because they were supposed to be cruising around the world, sailing around the world.
Brother, One Love, you and me done got old, man. We ain't the young cats no more. We done got old, so we got to pass this on. And I don't really want to do this tonight, but I got to do this, brother. I got to do this. Because you talking about the sharks. You and me was both raised in the South. Now, I was raised in Louisiana, Florida's the South. We were both raised in the South, brother. I've been raised my whole life here. We're talking about where Dr. King told black folk, watch out for Shreveport. I've been raised my whole life with white men. I mean, damn some gator bait. If all you know is gator bait, you don't know nothing. Brother, I was raised around white men who used to talk about, oh, gators. Nah, man, if you want to make a body disappear, hydrochloric acid.
Yep.
Dude, I'm 7
Lime,
8.
Sulfur.
Oh, dude, you know. Brother, I'm 7, 8 years old with them saying that. Oh, you want to make a body disappear? We don't, because in Shreveport, we don't have gators like that. don't need them. They like hydrochloric acid. We talking about lime, sulfur. Oh, you can melt them down. So folks in here talking about hogs. The only issue with hogs is that DNA could be an issue. So that's the only problem with hogs, is that they can cut them open and DNA would be an issue. So you need to destroy the tissue is what you need to do. Another thing, anybody who's watched Alan Moore's Watchmen. What? I'm going to leave that there to those of you who read the original graphic novel, because I don't know if they covered that in Zack Snyder's movie. I haven't actually seen the whole movie, but just a bit of homework, y'all. Anybody who's read the original Alan Moore's Watchmen, you know which one I'm talking about with Rorschach. If you want to make folk disappear, dude, this is what these folk focus on. If they find you, somebody messed up or they were lucky. If somebody is really premeditated and got time, brother, like with the mafia has time with your body. You'll never be found. If they don't want you to be found, you'll never be found because there's nothing to find. Ain't nothing to get. So, and I'm not even going to go into this because I'll be saying some stuff and some folk here might get some ideas. I need y'all to understand these people were not from the time I was a child. I'm half a century old. From the time I was a child, they've been talking. I've heard old white men talking about how to make you disappear. 55-gallon drum. That was the first thing they said. Brother, I don't want to get into this tonight. Yep. I don't want to start doing these details tonight.
Yep, a little bit of lime, a little bit of water. That deal.
Brother, what did we do? You had a 55-gallon drum, and what they would use it for is fuel. So you can fill it up with kerosene or diesel or whatever. So you go someplace, fill up the thing with fuel or whatever. That's what you got them drums for. They were like, oh, there's other things you can use it for. Can I go a little bit further? Just a little bit. I knew some cats. They were upset with the brother-in-law. He was upset because his sister done married this dude. He don't want to work, so on and so forth. And they was legit talking about how they was going to deal with that. It's like, okay, the boy going to grow up with his daddy, but we're going to seal this up. And they were not joking. The old granddaddy was there. I mean, just straight out the clan. Old granddaddy sitting there talking about this how you do it. And they were not bull jiving. Well, Jason, why were they saying around you? Because I'm powerless.
They say nobody, no charge.
Dude,
that's what they go off of.
I ain't got nobody to talk to. It's like, who's gonna believe me? There's nobody who I can talk to gonna believe me. So it's just gonna be them. They were just like, yep, this is how you take care of that 55-gallon drum, hydrochloric acid. That's the end of that. That is the end of that. Do y'all know how many times that's happened like that? So by the time y'all talking about gators and stuff and animals, that's a wonderful cliche, but man, that's antebellum slavery. That's not even 20th century. They got all kinds of things here. So your kids are out here. It's merciful that your kids drowned and they found the body, because if these folk had more time, they can make sure that doesn't happen. He's just gone. I'll let you have the last word.
Man, TBA, for those who know, you know, at the beginning of that movie, Sinners, that's where my other folks from on my mom's side, Clarksdale, Mississippi. You seen the movie, you know what it is. So, yeah, I grew up in Miami, but Playboy, I know the business. Plus, I'm here in Alabama. So when I had to explain to my wife why she couldn't go see her cousin. I said, because if that lady wasn't there, he was coming in there to kill her and take that boat. And then I would have been on a mission. I said, but it's the fact how they're raised. If they're non-FBA, they're raised to see that they want to be close to whiteness. And because they want to be close to whiteness so much, they go off of that. We don't see color, everybody the same. That's the world you want it to be. But see, I got these two FBA boys, TBA. I'm going to show them what the world is. And that's how it is. It's not how you want it. You got to go with reality, because there's not no fantasy. I tell her, she say sometimes I'm too rough on her. I say, that's because how you came up. First off, you a girl. Second off, you ain't come up around here. These folks, at least I know when to get off from TBA. These folks ain't going to get off you till you stop moving. If you don't teach your kids that, be one family,
Thank you
then
for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Yeah, because, man, look here, you can't afford to teach your kids being naive, y'all. That naivete thing, you can't afford to do that. The old folk call that growing them for the grave. You cannot do that. It's the 21st century. You got cell phones and stuff. Yeah. Okay, y'all can sit up here and pretend you're in a colorblind society, post-racial society. Ask Nolan Wells how that's working out. Are we just the militant folk anymore, or is there something to it? All right, we got Matthew here on Zoom. Matthew, turn off your YouTube. All right, what's on your mind?
I just want to say something. So like my mother's from Alabama, and she moved to New York when she was a young child. So when she moved to New York, she grew up around white people. So I was raised in New York, and all the white people moved out. So I grew up around Black and Hispanics. So I was never taught anything about the whole racist thing, because my mom had like the whole fascination towards like the white people. I learned it all from my grandma and, reading and stuff. So I just want to say there's a lot of people that are like me, where their parents moved to New York from like the South, North Carolina, Alabama, everywhere. And they know nothing about that.
Yeah, I mean, New York is the epicenter of it, but there's New York, there's California, there's Florida, you got to be Colorado. There's a number of places where folk move from the South and whatnot, and a lot of them, they move for economic opportunity. They come from other places, other countries and whatnot. But then there's a lot of them coming up here, really trying to do some zaddy chasing, and identity is all screwed up, and what they're showing you is that, hey, you're lambs to the slaughter, man. Mm-hmm. Your lambs, we straight up killing them. This lambs, and these are the ones that made the news. Brother, these are the ones that made the news. How many of them folk do you all realize how many black people have disappeared in the last 50, 60 years? We talk about Wayne Williams or whatever. Do y'all understand how many black folk have disappeared in the last 50, 60 years, y'all? In New York City, you all want to go Google that. Here's y'all's homework tonight. Go Google how many black people have disappeared in the last 5 years, 10 years. And go take a look at those numbers. Just disappeared. That's what I was telling y'all. No body found. No body, no remains, no nothing. Still think I'm exaggerating these things about you can disappear and they won't find nothing? No pigs to cut open, no gators to chop open. It's just, you're just gone. You're just gone, and you're just a soup that they poured into the Everglades.
Mm-hmm.
You, jeans, shirt, everything. So they don't do you all that chasing that they're doing. They might be willing to risk their lives for it. Okay, but are you willing to risk yours? I'll let you have the last word.
That was pretty much it.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Yeah, y'all, people don't connect those dots, man. These are just the ones that made the news. Do you realize how many black females have disappeared in the last 10 years? From the ages of 8 and older, just gone, disappeared, never been found. Never been found. That's not new. That's not new. So for a lot of folk, if you get remains, you're lucky, because there's a bunch of folk out here looking and there's nothing to find. Let's go ahead and get over here on Zoom. Let's see if we can get Michael up here on Zoom for us here. All right, Michael, turn off your YouTube. All right, Michael, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to start off by saying you're right about that. People disappear, my homeboy's sister, that's what happened to her. You understand what I'm saying? This happened when I was a young kid, and I seen that. So it's like, yeah, one wrong choice, you can disappear. But what I really want to talk about is this. I don't know how in this day and age, black people, black Americans, can't understand that we in a race war. There's nothing in this world that's happening today that can blind you to that. You understand what I'm saying? How can people not see that? How can a man with gray hairs on his chin actually say on camera that he never really saw color? He can't be from over here. He has to be a foreigner. I don't know. But how can our people be blind to the situation that we're facing on a daily basis?
Willful ignorance, which is the worst kind. It's not that you can't see, it's that you won't see. You don't want to see it. So you just dismiss it until something so heinous happens that you have no choice but to it. By that time, brother, you're in trouble. You're in trouble by that time. Now they've come to get you. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. There's just, look, I mean, we just have to recognize that there's a lot of folk out here that they are willing to die for access. They're willing to die to feel like they belong to them folks. They're willing to die for it. You just have to understand that and accept that. They are willing to die for it.
Well, Jason, is it safe to say, because I've been thinking about this a lot over the past few months, I'm being honest. Is it safe to say that a lot of the people that we look up to, a lot of the people that we look at and say, those are our greats, those same people sold us out?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the definition. I guess it depends on the definition of greats, because it depends on who we consider great. I'm more concerned about who's raising these folk right here, right now. We talking about directly your father, your mother. You should be able to depend on them to let you know the game and the lay of the land. You should not be figuring out white supremacy, on the fly or on the job. Your family's supposed to be teaching you that so you're ahead of the game. Do you realize how much danger you're in when you have to learn what white supremacy is on the job? You got to figure out American racism on the job training. It's like, oh no, you're a sitting duck. When everybody sees that you're just clueless, basically you're living day by day just hoping nobody tries something. That's all you're doing because you're not able to defend yourself.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me see if we can get Miss Nisi up here on Zoom for us here. Let me see if we can get Miss Nisi up here on Zoom for us. We'll go ahead and try to do that. Where are you at, Miss Nisi? We're looking for you here. Okay, there you go. All right, unmute yourself. Lower left-hand corner.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Black?
Yes, ma'am. What's on your mind?
All right. I listened thus far. You already know my story. I got a 34-year-old son. And I still tell him what to look for. I said, I don't care how old you are. I birthed you, my one and only. So as your mother, I'm going to tell you the real deal. You cannot afford to go around in this world acting like it can never happen to me. We done watched too many damn stories of our people and the heinousness of these crimes done to them. So he's home right now visiting, and I have him call me every day. Come see me every couple of days. I'm your mother. I have that right. I need to know, and I will know. Now, subject change. When I saw the interview that the parents, Nolan Wells' parents gave, I'm side-eyeing the whole thing. This is just my opinion. Of course, it's the obvious. They did not school him. The father or stepfather, whatever, he gave off beta simp energy to me. The mama was very self-absorbed, in my opinion. But when that father said, I don't see color, I said, what the fuck planet are you on? Mr. Black, I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. And it's days like this I wish I could act like a white supremacist and just blow all them motherfuckers away. And I'm speaking on the real. And I make no apologies for it neither. So I need to calm down. You have a good evening, Mr. Black.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, sister. We appreciate that. Give me that old time religion. Look, I can't respect it when I see that you're not raising the children to be aware and be savvy. I can't respect it. I can't respect it when you are not being proactive. When you got kids out here and whatnot, and they're acting like everything is great and chummy, and everybody likes to pull that damn garbage of telling us everything's great and everything's fine until something like this happens. And then do y'all notice you can't find a single one of them niggas who told you that we're in post-racial America? Y'all notice you can't find a single one of them today, right? Y'all do realize that you don't have, where are the ain't no racism, we're in post-racial, no, there's no white supremacy. Where are those folk today, y'all? Can you find any of them? Where they at? Yeah, you know, the folks like to argue with us and stuff, and there ain't no racism, and it doesn't exist, and this, that, and the other, and y'all notice we can't find any of them folk today now, can you? Y'all just militant, y'all on that pro-black stuff. Okay, can you find any of them folk right now today? Asking for a friend. When it goes down like this, all of a sudden everybody gets quiet. It's like, yeah, you ain't got a leg to stand on for it. If you could prove it, go ahead and prove it. Well, that's just one there. Okay, we got another one. Well, that's just two there. And how eager are you to die for it? That's a good question to ask. How eager are you? Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. We got Drew here on Zoom. Drew, make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on for me just so we don't have any trolling issues. Drew, I can go ahead and give you 5 seconds to go ahead and take care of that. Then we got to move on. Drew, I can give you 3 more seconds to go ahead and take care of that. Then we got to move on. Drew, I can give you 1 more second to take care of that. And then we got to move on. All right, y'all. Drew has been abducted. All right, let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom again right quick. Let me get my man Prince out of Richmond here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Prince?
Hey, brother, I'm going to make it clear to everybody. You and me from the South. I was born the year Dr. King was assassinated. And we're post-civil rights generation, but we was taught. And I don't know if the daddy's an immigrant or not, but it don't matter because many of our people, they wouldn't sacrifice their own life, let alone their children, for proximity to white people. You got to understand something, that white people done went by the daddy house already, and they checking him out, and he wants to make sure they know that he don't see no race. He's talking to his white friends and to his heart. When you put your son out there, they say, hey, you know that wouldn't fly. We couldn't go over just anybody's house anyway, black or white or anything. Because you know what my grandmother would say, you don't know what goes on in folk house.
We knew them folk, bro. We wasn't with folk on the other side of the town and a bunch of strangers. That wasn't happening. No. If it did happen, it was like happening through the school. It was a bunch of women up there and whatnot. A bunch of little children. These wasn't no little kids, bro.
No.
These wasn't no little kids. I'm like, hey, what the point I'm making is that, okay, let's just say you're dealing with elementary school kids, right? My point is, even if you're surrounded by a bunch of elementary kids, it's very unlikely they're going to be able to seriously harm you. That's very unlikely. They're probably going to hurt your feelings, but the odds of them doing you serious bodily harm are pretty low. When you start talking about 17, 18 years old, they're big enough to kill you.
Yes.
Certainly if there's a group of them, you are in a dangerous situation. They are big enough to kill you. No, we need to know who they are. When you were in elementary school, maybe. This right here, no. Then I start seeing stuff in y'all hands. We drinking and this, that, and the other. I don't know, because I don't know what's going on. Even if they're of legal age, that's irrelevant to me. Let's just say they're of legal age to do that. Brother, you've been in the military long enough to know the most dangerous situations with soldiers when y'all start drinking.
Yes.
Domestic or abroad. Okay, somebody is drunk. Somebody's feelings is easily hurt. and there's some females around, dude, this is a dangerous ass situation. You hear me?
They feel emasculated. These white boys feel emasculated when we can go to different countries and the women choose us. Let me tell you one thing. They feel emasculated. They don't like the fact that black men have swag and different things like that. I really did one time that Italian woman, I thought she was light skinned. But other than that, the brothers know how to move. We dress a certain way. Everybody wants to be, even when I run into the little kids, they were from Sweden and from other places. They want to be around and learn our culture. And these white men, young men, they feel emasculated and they want to equalize. And that's why they work in groups. And listen, young people, listen, I want to know going forward, do the parents keep doing this? Do they just keep letting their children go out there? Or like I told my daughter, listen, I always taught her, and you helped me raise her too, brother, you with the knowledge of what you say. She went to Massachusetts about last year, and I say, well, because she got a little white friend up there that's from down here, from a little redneck right outside of Beaumont, little clan area kind of. I say, so where you going to be staying? Who's at her house? I don't know. I say, so what you going to do? I just ask her, because the next morning for me is, do you want to open or close casket? That's all I want to know. You understand? I didn't ask, but she said, no, I'm going to stay at a hotel. I said, if you don't know what you going into, that's what you do. The girl was surprised, but, they went out and eating, did things together. I said, let me tell you something. I always taught her, you don't know people, especially if they're always on. These guys always around them smiling until they're not smiling. And all them white people that was on that little island, they saw what happened. If you could hear them yelling in the background, and when the women start choosing up on them, that's the problem, brother. See, this is the thing, and I don't know what to say. Is it worth a life to get white acceptance?
Yes. This has been the great issue that we've been dealing with. I mean, brother, I've said that the civil rights movement, for a lot of them, that's what they were in the streets for, was interracial sexual access. That was the payoff. That's what they were waiting for. It was this prize that they had been denied for so long. And there are those of us who understood that wasn't anything worth fighting for. But then you got folks out here who are very eager to dismiss that. And particularly among, we tried to game up. That's why we really started trying to crack down to game up the immigrant class, to let them know, hey, we got to draw a clear line, because whether, both them Jean forward, we're letting people know, hey, man, this is where you at. This is where you at, and we're not going to put blinders on, and we're not going to pretend that's not where you're at, because if something bad happens, them folk going to squad up. They're going to squad up, and all of a sudden you don't have any rights and you don't exist and nothing matters anymore. And we've been through that enough times. But no, brother, there are folk out here who are willing to die for proximity and access, bro. They're going to ignore everything. If this is the only shot they going to have, this is the only game in town, I'm going to the beach party this weekend. I'm going.
And a lot of them, I'm down here in Houston, was a lot of immigrant brothers and sisters, and I have to tell them, and I say, did you know there's certain places you can't go in Texas? They said, no, I didn't know. I said, you just can't take a road trip through Texas, and I'm gonna need you to stay. You need to hit I-10 on Mississippi. Stop going. You be going down 20, man. You be careful up there. Jason's going down Mississippi. Went through that one time, all them woods. I don't know what's that freeway that goes straight up through Biloxi, go straight up. I mean, man, I say this is a wooded area. And I say, damn, I came through Atlanta from there. I say, you'll never be seen off in here again.
No.
I didn't realize it was so damn rural.
No. If you take like 59 going down through there, man, it's just, you go from miles and miles, especially if you go like from Interstate 20 all the way down to 10. You through Mississippi is just one big ass forest. It really, really is. And yes, brother, anything west of Dallas, Texas, particularly when you get west of Abilene, brother, do y'all realize you can disappear? I mean, folks, if they don't go to West Texas, brother, I'm talking about you can drive for 8 straight hours with nothing but wilderness. I spent my life driving through there, Interstate 20 all the way to Pecos.
Damn.
Interstate 10. Brother, I mean, you can drive, if you at any point, if you want to drive off the interstate or drive off the highways, forget the freeway, the highways, for miles and miles. And you can just drive off the road. I can literally drive off the road for 2 or 3 miles heading towards the hills. Brother, they ain't going to find you. They are not going to find you.
Listen, when y'all start getting on these roads that wind and it ain't but one way, you in trouble. And you ain't on way, there ain't no way to turn around and stuff. You in trouble. Get the hell up out of there. You need to stop going because, like he said, when you start going toward West Texas, I remember I rode home from Colorado, and Colorado is a very racist place. All them white folks moving to northern Colorado because of the bases. That is one racist damn place. I didn't realize. I thought that would be a cool place. It don't take long to get from Colorado to Texas. But once you get in Texas, you riding for hours. And brother, you know they used to have signs up talking about niggas don't let the sun go down on you here. You understand? And see, people don't realize that. You realize having traveled this area. What would you suggest? If you take road trips, do you keep an extra set of tires with you? Or you call AAA?
Well, first and foremost, I make sure my stuff is clean before I go. I make sure my stuff is straight before I hit the road. I'm one of these folks, when my tires get to 60,000 miles, I change them. I ain't on no Maypops. I'm not on anything with low tread. You know me, I do a lot of road tripping. So I'm used to the idea of having to make it all the way from Interstate 20, just 95 all the way up to Boston, or Connecticut. I'm used to doing that. Interstate 20, I'm used to taking it all the way from Florence to Dallas. I'm used to doing things like that. So when you start that kind of driving, you're probably going to be driving when it gets dark. And even though I don't like driving at night, so you need to be ready before you get there. So road trips, hoses, belts, tires, all my tires are in good shape. All my tire pressure monitors work. I don't take no chances. My lights are all good. I make sure there's no excuse to pull me over. My lights are all good. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I just think that most people want to let their defenses down.
They want to feel
I think that and I can understand that because look, brother, you're in the military, being on alert all the time is exhausting. Painful. Being on alert all the time is stressful. I get that. Brother, you in a war zone.
Exactly.
You in a war zone. So yes, it's stressful. Yes, it's exhausting. And the moment you let your guard down, they got you. That's where you at. So you're either going to keep your guard up or you're going to just let your guard down and hope for the best. And we got a lot of folk out here who, I just want to live my life. Well, okay, can you get these other folk over here to honor that? No, can you get them to honor you just wanting to live your life? Can you get them to do that? Because if you can't, this ain't going to work.
Well, they want to live vicariously through the children, like you was telling the lady with her nephews. They going out there. Man, let me tell you, we got them whoopings, but whatever. Let me tell you, I'm going to just put it like this. At one time, I left eggs in the skillet and I didn't wash it and put it up under the sink with the egg in it. Guess what I was woke up with? And you know the deal. Whatever is at hand, right? So listen, but I was loved. We were taken care of. They try to teach us so when we get out here, we're not confused about it.
Let me tell you something, Prince. My folk in Louisiana didn't raise no soft-ass niggas.
Deal with it, nigga.
Let me just say it like that.
But she can't take it like that.
Let me just go ahead and drop the real on your ass. Talking about rough grandma and this. And my folks didn't raise no soft-ass niggas.
Hell no.
Hey, we wasn't like that. If you want it, nigga, you can get it all damn day. That's what they raised. So I ain't with that. I don't identify with that. They didn't raise no soft folk around here. You talking about punching me? I'll be damned. Niggas was throwing belts and bricks and bats around here. You think I'm worried about you?
That ain't nothing new. And when we got to school, like you were saying, ain't no such thing. I told my daughter when the boy threw that little medicine ball in elementary, tore her head. She went and bumped him and knocked him to the ground, hit his head. And they say, well, hey, this. I said, I don't really care. I say, this. Well, you know this. I say, my daughter defended herself. Anything else? I say, my daughter got a right to defend herself. I don't hear nothing. That's it. I told my baby, anybody because guess what they do? They want you to sit there and let them beat you in the face. See, this is a different thing. Remember, you used to have to fight after school. You remember the deal?
Brother, if you raise docile children, they will become docile adults. And that is the idea that folk are going to respect your damn rights. And when you see they're not respecting them every damn day, then you start, we going to run to mama. What that says is I'm expecting somebody else to secure my rights. I'm expecting somebody else to defend them.
Mama ain't
Brother, you were taught that you were the deterrent. You weren't taught to go find a deterrent. You were taught that if something go down, you're going to be the deterrent. And when you get done, they're going to realize, don't mess with you, not because you're going to get your mama, but don't mess with you because they're going to have to deal with you.
Because I told them the two brothers were picking on me coming home, and they say, what you doing in here? I say, get back out next time. I better not hear it. Get back out there. As soon as they mess with me, I start busting them upside the head. They got me some good licks on me. They ain't bothering me no more. And I'm telling you, because that's how we was raised. You know, that's what people don't realize. They say, well, I'm a woman. No, the women in our family taught us when we got older, the men was ready to take us into manhood. And see, Jason, I got to ask you, though, if you get the tickets, every once in a while they're going to give you a ticket in these little towns. Do you just pay them, brother? You don't go back. Let them don't go back to them little country towns to fight it in court. How do you do it?
Well, first of all, I try to avoid getting pulled over, period, although sometimes I understand that can be difficult. That's where nighttime becomes an issue there, because I've had more issues with that than anything else.
Yeah.
Brother, when I drive, I'm just going to let y'all know, when I drive any place, first of all, I mean, I got my Waze on and whatnot, so if there's police that been tagged, I know where they at. I'm going to see you before you see me. And the other thing is, I'm not sitting up here driving 20 and 30 miles over the speed limit. I'm not doing that. When you're on the speedway, if you're on the freeway or something like that, some folk like to take chances. I don't do that. So if I'm somewhere, it's going to be for certain. If you pull me over, it's going to be not legit. It's going to be not legit. I don't have any drugs or anything illegal in my car like that, so I'm not worried about that. The most you're going to do is annoy me at that point. But the real thing is, just number one, make sure you're looking. Yes. There's my thing is like, sometimes for me, I slow down. When I pass and they sitting on the median or whatever, you think I don't see you. I slow down a little bit and I'm leaning out the window to let you know I see you over there. You ain't surprising me. I see you over there. I think for a lot of folks, they're looking to see if they can take you unawares.
Yes.
I think they're looking to check you ain't on swivel, see if they can take you unawares. So for me, it's really about trying to avoid that. Beyond that, it depends on what it is, because it depends on what it is. For the most part, because if you have a ticket and, well, just pay it, I don't believe in paying stuff that's not legit. So I'm not going to pay a ticket that isn't legitimate. That's just not going to happen. In my experience, for the most part, I'm not going to guarantee you, but for the most part, if you're not doing anything right there, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to try to defend that. Their real thing is they usually want to pull the car over because they got a hunch they're going to find something. And the real thing is they better find something, because if they don't, now they're behind the 8 ball. So the real thing is, were you prepared for that beforehand? To make sure if I do get pulled over, y'all going to be behind the 8 ball, because whatever was your pretense for stopping me, you won't be able to justify it. You're not going to have proof that I was speeding. You're not going to have proof I was swerving, and there's nothing illegal in the car. So this traffic stop about to disappear is what's about to happen. So that's generally what occurs. But no, I don't just pay. If I were in that situation, I don't pay an unjust ticket. I do not reward injustice, period, for any reason, because all that does is encourage it.
Yeah. I got one last thing to say. For the parents, if you don't have the courage to do it, let us talk to your children. That's why I try to talk. Got a whole bunch of them little young men, they was out here playing soccer. Real good young man, but they was out at 10 o'clock at night, and I had to tell them, now, y'all keep it down, don't hit nobody's vehicles, because I know these people out here will call the police on them. So I was telling him, he said, thank you. Little African boy, he little mixed African and mama African and Italian, so I just let them know. And they say thank, because they can't stand hear a black voice. The boy over 12 now, so he getting a deeper male voice, and they have a contempt for that. And so that's why I go out there sometimes, if just out at night a little bit, and I just stand out there and watch them and just going back in, just make sure they say, we got to protect these children. Please let us talk to them. Don't you? And look, this is the last thing I'm going to say to you. Where the women at? They choke and yell at us. Why they get quiet when it comes to stuff like this? I'm talking about not all of them, but all these women that got a whole bunch of mouth. Where you at?
Situations like this expose the bed wenches from the mothers is what it does. So there's a lot of them out there. This doesn't really go with the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the story they want to tell. Whenever these kind of situations occur, all the folk trying to sell us on the bull crap, they get real quiet real quick. It's just a bunch of garbage. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Prince. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and one more again, just in case y'all missed it here. Let me tell y'all something. It was the gangsters who got us out the civil rights movement. It was the gangsters who did that. Brother Malcolm X was a street dude. Malcolm X was a street cat. You talk about the dope dealers. Malcolm X was a dope dealer. The Nation of Islam recruited them cats. They recruited them straight out of prison. They still do to this day. You know why? You talking about redeeming them and this, that, and the other. Yeah, they redeeming them, but it's also because they know you putting in work. You didn't go to prison for buying the wrong color candy bar. What? They didn't go to prison for having their shoelaces untied. They went to prison because they was down to go upside your damn head. And they wanted cats who would put in that kind of work. That's what they wanted. They wanted that. And that's what the hell we need to be here today. We need to be doing that. Folk who are serious, sitting up here coddling your kids and whatnot and trying to sit up here and raise them like little Barbie dolls and little teddy bears. See, that doesn't carry any weight with me. That does not carry any weight with me. You know why? Because that's not the world we live in. You don't impress me by telling me how lightly you raised your children and how mild and meek and all this stuff, like everything's going to be a damn academic course. That doesn't impress me. You're not striking me as mom of the year or dad of the year, talking about how civil you raised them and this, that, and the other. Okay, what happens when they run into an uncivil situation? They ain't ready for a damn thing except to squeal for their damn mama. That don't impress me. It was the gangsters who dealt with the white supremacists. It was the gangsters in the Black Panthers. It was the gangsters in the Black Guerrilla Party. It was the gangsters on the streets. It was the gangsters in Watts. The damn academics was sitting up there on TV trying to get a job. It was the gangsters out here at the street level set my people free. It was the gangsters out here on the street level went to Ferguson, Missouri after Mike Brown was killed. It was the gangsters out here who did that. It was the street dudes. It was the children who were raised by the hard. Let me say that again. It wasn't just the certified gangsters. It wasn't just the certified street dudes. It was the children of the hard. That was who did that. You don't impress me by telling me that you're raising soft children. These other folk are depending on that. These other folk are depending on you to do that. Y'all folks, Plato taught you that. For those of you who didn't understand that, go and take a look at that. You can look that one up for yourselves. You're not impressing me talking about how soft you raised them and whatnot. I'll be damned. If they can handle your grandmama, they can damn sure handle these dudes who think they about to come in on them. The little fellow over there waving his report card around furiously, trying to impress you with his grades. Does Donald Trump give a damn about your grades? Does Ron DeSantis give a damn about your grades? Let me tell y'all something. The females will be real quick on that one. Fellas don't have to like that right there. A female is looking for a dude who'll lay the damn smack down on somebody. For you know why? Because women are very acutely sensitive to the fact that you live in a world of sharks. You live in a world of sharks and wolves. And if you want to know why they like street cats, it's because, I want a wolf on my team. Women are very acutely sensitive to the fact that they live in a dangerous world, and I better have a damn gangster, better have a shark, better have a wolf on my side. I better not be the only one walking around out here who ain't got a wolf. All the rest of these chicks got one, and I'm the only one walking around ain't got one. That's not appealing to them. Even the girl with the thickest damn glasses is like, okay, just in case it go down, do I got a wolf over here with me? Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom again right quick. Let me see if I got Peter over here on Zoom. Okay, I'm looking for Peter here. Peter, make sure you have your camera and microphone turned on for me just so we don't have any trolling issues. YouTube is not going to see you. The only person who will is me, but just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, please make sure you all have your cameras and your microphone turned on for me here. Peter, I can give you 5 seconds to go ahead and get that taken care of. Then I got to move on. All right, Peter, I can give you 3 more seconds. There you go, Peter. All right, Peter, what's on your mind?
What's up, bro? I'm out here walking in downtown Austin. You can see Austin in the background there.
I see the city lights.
Yeah, man, I like what you're saying about being a black guy. Oh, I hope the background noise isn't too much.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I know about being a black guy in the middle of 1 second. In the middle of a bunch of white people. You know, I stay in Texas now, but I'm from California. And when I was living in the Bay Area, I stayed with a bunch of white people as roommates. And one day we went out to Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, some sort of festival, music festival, whatever. It was a bunch of my roommates, all of my roommates, actually, 4 of my white roommates and their friends. And their friends included some girls. So we get to the park. I break away from all of them. And I just walk around the park enjoying myself. I didn't see them until the end of the night, until everything was winding down. So I meet up with some of the people. I run across some of the people that I originally came there with. And the girls like ran up to me. The white girls ran up to me and they're like, "Where have you been?" And well, they were really interested in where I was. And I just nonchalantly, I've been around the park type shit. But I'm looking around and like I'm kind of pointing and I'm about to say I've just been around, walking around. But as I'm looking around, the girls are waiting with bated breath. They're waiting on my like, what is he gonna say type shit. And there was a white guy, a friend of my roommate.
Okay. I hope they didn't come get him. Peter was there and then he wasn't. Okay. Sounds like a thrilling story there, but sounds like the roommates may not have been happy to see that. They may not have been happy to see that. I mean, that's a good point there. I want to know how many fellas in here think folk are happy to see you moving like that. In the chat room, there was somebody that I instructed to give a call in. He didn't want to give a call in about that. Fellas, please understand something. It's got nothing to do with whether or not you're responding to them. Do you get that? Do you all understand that this has nothing to do with whether or not you respond to them? If those chicks are digging you and you are looking unconcerned, do you know that that makes females fight even harder? What? Damn! If you're a guy that they're trying to get the attention of and you're not really responsive, you just sitting there vibing, doing your own thing, they're trying even harder to get you to respond. How do you think that makes them other fellas feel when these chicks are trying twice as hard to get you to respond? These guys are all over them and you're very unconcerned about it. You're very dismissive and the chicks are trying even harder. You ain't even saying nothing. You're not even trying to holler at them. The energy of them trying to get your attention is making folk hate on you. Now, what do you do under those circumstances? These chicks are trying to talk to you and you're not even really acknowledging them, and that's making them try even harder. Okay, now what do? To keep them haters off you? What do you do now that you're not even responding to them and they still trying to push up on you? Now what? Since you think that you can just lay low and be safe, okay, well, if you just don't say nothing at all and they still trying to feel you, now what? Let me jump over here on Zoom right quick and see if we can get James over here on Zoom. Let me see if we can get James up here on Zoom. James, wake up. Okay, James, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, good brother? Great broadcast. I couldn't hear, but did the gentleman ever get to finish the story about the roommates in the park?
No cliffhanger, but I think we can see where that's going. Definitely the females feeling on him like that. That wasn't going over very well with his roommates. So
I got worried about him telling that story because he just blanked out. I'm like, man, I hope he's still here. But you made some great points, and I want to emphasize just how right you are by I have one brother. He's a year younger than me. And for most of our youth, I had to fight for him. People used to mess with him. I don't know if he used to start, but I know he used to start a lot of trouble or whatever. But I had a lot of battles because of him, which is, natural. But I remember when we became about 14 and 15, it was one person in particular that was around his size. He may have been a little tougher than him, but I had to fall back and let him fight. He lost that fight. He didn't die, but he got some lumps. Consequently, he became a fighter or protector of himself.
That's essential for that to happen. I think it's more beneficial for you to lose your first one than win, because it teaches you what can happen.
Exactly. And I was there. He didn't get stomped out or just getting terribly hurt, but I had to let him go, let him see what I go through dealing with these people out here, because it's just me and him, and we in big New York City. So trust me when I tell you, I had to get it in, and primarily a lot of the times because of him. And I don't really like to be going through all that, but you got to do what you got to do. And what you said about mothers coddling their children, no, because there's going to be a time when you ain't there and they can yell mommy all you want, but you're going to be someplace else where you can't hear them. And what are they going to do then? So this world is for real, and they just have to learn to deal with it. And lastly, if I may, what you were saying about being the only black person in the room, let's just say it like that, it can be a very dangerous thing. Before I retired from construction, I got it in, but I found myself a lot of times being around a lot of white individuals, for predominantly everybody just working, trying to get home or whatever. But they tried to kill me several times in the course of me working, which was dangerous work. A lot of the work I did was extremely dangerous. But there were 3 instances where if it was not for the grace of my ancestors or the higher power, I would not be here. So yes, a person said it earlier, you have to keep your head on swivel. Can't be naive. It can be to your detriment.
A lot of folk, Brother James, a lot of folk out here really don't understand, particularly women. Ladies, y'all don't understand what it's like being men out here, like on a construction site, because James, you and I both understand this. On the construction site, man, I mean, you're not dealing with college graduates or academics, man. You're dealing with folk, they've been roughnecks in and out of jail. We talking about some real barbarians out there. Is really what you got a lot of that going on. I mean, these are just straight up, Visigoths in a lot of cases, bro. I mean, they'll mess with the tools. They'll mess with the electrical stuff. They'll mess with the lugs on your car. If you're doing high-rise construction, they'll mess with the damn belts and the scaffolding and stuff like that. So, I mean, you got some real folk like that sitting around there. That's not rare. I've seen that and experienced that myself, brother. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, in New York, it's even more so. This. In New York, it's even more so because I'm from the South, so the unions don't really run construction in the South. They made a bunch of laws to make sure that don't happen. In New York, a lot of that's locked down by the unions and whatnot. And so, yeah, they still want to keep a bunch of the black fellas out of it. And so if the folk done hired you for whatever reason, well, if he ain't going to be able to work here if his ass gets injured. So let's go ahead and help him get a serious injury here so he won't be coming around no more. That's literally what's going on, bro. That's literally what's going on. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You there, you making more money than they think you should be making. Don't let you sit up here and become a crane operator. Don't let that happen, James. Don't become the crane operator, because on construction sites, y'all know about the crane operators. You know what they get. Don't mess around and you be him, or you're dealing with one of the real trades, like ironworks. They said in the chapter about ironworks, or the welding, or electrical or something like that. Don't mess around and be that, or be one of the certified carpenters. Don't let that happen. Where the real money is. No, they'll try to do that. In the chat room, I was about to say the military. How about these entry level things? I say entry level. These jobs where you're working with your hands. These manual labor jobs, even if they're skilled labor, manual labor, entry level manual labor. So construction, military, utilities, things like that. On the construction site, like I don't know how big you worked on, James. If you worked on high rises or something, I worked on hotels and things like that. And you're in there with like 20, 30 other guys, 20, 30 other dudes. Okay, but it's not like somebody is supervising for safety. You're really just doing stuff by yourself. Now, if an inspector shows up or something, that's one thing, but they're not on site for that. And they're not supervising like that. So you really are just there by yourself, man. I've done construction on top of warehouses and stuff. You're 30, 40 feet up in the air. And you're really on your own. I mean, there's 20 or 30 other folk there, but you're really by yourself is what you are. Folk don't understand that. For however many hours it is, 10, 12 hours a day, you're really there by yourself. I'll let you have the last word.
Yes, life can be dangerous in general, but when you put yourself around people that innately hate you, and it doesn't have to be all of them. It could just be that one person, but he can have influence.
When he make the move, they're gonna fall in line. When he make the move, they're gonna fall in rank, bro.
And ain't nobody gonna talk afterwards. Nobody knows nothing. It's just an accident as far as everybody else is concerned. But I will tell our people what you're saying is right. You have to keep your head on the swivel. You have to be alert. Okay, and that goes not just against white people in general, but in particularly, it's best not to be naive and watch your back. And great broadcast, and thank you for having me up.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. In the chat room, Mocastro, yeah, I mean, a welding machine, you're talking about a MIG welder, a TIG welder. I mean, like if you do construction stuff, folks stealing your tools or something like that, man, look here, you go upside somebody's damn head, it costs a bunch of money to get that stuff taken care of. It costs a bunch of money to get that, especially if you get your own tools. If you're a mechanic, and you got to buy your own tools or whatever, we talking about thousands of dollars here. Now you start talking about a welder or even just the parts that hook up to the welder. Man, look here. These folks are dirty about that. So it's just, you just trying to make your living and everything. You're not an illegal alien. You ain't anything like that. You just at a job where you making more money than they think you're supposed to be getting. You're not supposed to be getting that. Okay, who are all these folk who are sitting on the damn Zoom link? Why didn't they call in earlier? All right, let me see if we can get Bridget up here. So they all been sitting on the link. I guess they're wondering. All right, Bridget, wake up. Okay, Bridget, don't have me go ahead and do that. Okay, Bridget, she calls in and she disappears. There you go. Hi, Bridget, what's on? Unmute yourself. Bottom left-hand corner.
Okay.
All right, what's on your mind?
Well, I was calling, I was in the chat, and then I got blocked.
Okay, what was your name in the chat?
BATL.
There you go. All right, you were the one we were waiting. I thought you was a dude up in there. What?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, with that wonderful, sumptuous Clairol blonde weave you got on, I'm so glad you have that Look, she looks like a black Kirstie Alley, y'all. She sure does. At least she has nice white teeth with that wonderful tattoo on her shoulder. So what is that? What is that tattoo of? I'm looking at your left shoulder. She don't know which shoulder. She's like, which shoulder, Jason? Let me see.
I got both.
Let me see.
Butterflies.
Okay, that's a butter.
Like a vine. Can you see it?
Okay, I see it, ma'am. All right. Yes. All right, let's go ahead and go.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what
You know exactly why you were told to call in, ma'am. You saw your comment. Come on now. They all play dumb when they do that.
I was just going off what the man was saying. Like, he was saying that these white boys jealous because a black man being able to get different people, but
that wasn't what he said.
Different women. That's what.
No, ma'am, that was not what he said.
What he saying?
His words were they were getting jealous. They get jealous when they see a black man go overseas or a place where there's non-black women, and those women are choosing. That's what he said.
Okay.
Now, no, ma'am. Choosing simply means that they are expressing a preferential treatment of. That's why I just gave the example of these females. As a woman, you have men. I can take a look at you right now and tell that. By the way, y'all, she has very large, prominent eyes. Damn! Are you a nurse?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been a nurse?
No.
Okay. We'll call you a nurse till you get there. She has very large, prominent eyes, y'all. So I will say that. She has very large, prominent eyes. All right. Y'all know what I say about that. But in any case, they can be, as a female, you're accustomed to men trying to get your attention that you're not interested in. He's trying to talk to you. He's trying to get your attention. He's trying to get you to respond, and you're not really feeling him. Does that always stop him?
No.
Did you invite his overtures?
No.
Okay, so what makes you think that doesn't happen to men, ma'am?
I guess it was how he was saying it, like making it a thing, like making it like it's important. Like I just thought it was irrelevant, and I thought that's the problem with black men, with dating out more.
Okay, well, to that extent there, the whole point about that is you don't have to sleep with them or anything like that. Just the optics of it. Just the optics of these women. White men are used to going overseas and everybody jumps on them. If you're not familiar with it, take a look at anime and manga. These are Japanese people. By definition, they have brown eyes for the most part and black hair, and yet their anime is a bunch of blonde Asians with blonde hair and pink hair and blue hair. Everything really except what they actually are. You know where they got that from. They don't have, take a look at the old Japanese paintings and motifs. There are no blonde people in those things. There are no blonde people at all. They look like Japanese people right till we get to post-World War II. And when they started making their own comic books and their own anime, their own characters look like Caucasians. So white men are used to that level of pretty much worship. They don't have to say anything. The women just automatically come to them and respond positively. Okay, well, what happens when they see black men who are supposed to be so far beneath them getting equal or greater response just by walking in the room? Now, whether or not he desires their response is a different matter. But that doesn't change the fact that, by the way, we get that just by walking in the room. We don't bring that nevish energy with us like that. What female does not want to push up? What female does not want to be next to that?
Yeah,
now, sister, why don't we explain? Where do you live at?
Atlanta.
What was that?
Atlanta.
Okay, which part of Atlanta?
I don't want to say.
Bet there's a whole bunch of burbs out there. Just everybody, we don't know which one it is.
It starts with an L.
Okay, it's Lithonia. Okay.
Around my black people, so we don't. In Atlanta, we don't.
Okay. Why is she jealous on a Saturday, y'all? Explain that part to me, man.
I'm not jealous.
Why are you jealous on a Saturday? Why?
But I'm not jealous. I have a black man, so there's no reason for me to be jealous. It's just I don't believe in mixing, basically. Okay. So how he was saying it, I guess I took it to the point of.
You took it very personally.
Because you see online a lot of stuff with black men praising white women and stuff. I just think, why? Like, why should we be praising white people, period?
Right, but he wasn't praising them. He was making an observation.
Right, I'm not saying he was. I guess it was just a trigger.
Right, and that's why I was pointing out there is that you got triggered about them praising white women, and meanwhile you have a wonderful blonde weave on your head.
Blonde is not,
nigga, please.
That's a sandy blonde weave on your head. That is sandy blonde, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, we have blonde.
And it's straight. That's not even texture. That is a straight up Caucasian Megyn Kelly sandy blonde weave or wig you got on. Now you giving Prince all kinds of fits, and these black men need to stop chasing white women, and meanwhile you're doing an excellent impression. With those wonderful prominent eyes of yours, you are doing a wonderful impression of one. So I'm just like, okay, if we down on white women, why are you giving us the bootleg version?
No.
Yes.
We just have different styles. So
tell me what style you were born with that was sandy blonde. I'll wait.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't own blonde. It's a hair color, so
it's not a black woman's hair color. And if you're okay with imitating a white woman's hair color, you're okay imitating that, just so long as the men don't go get the full flavored thing.
Right, but men have blonde hair too. It's men.
Okay, who are the heterosexual men with blonde hair, ma'am?
They're straight.
You in Atlanta. Our former police chief in Shreveport had to leave Atlanta as police chief simply because he said something about the gays about in the Bible. That's how screwed up Atlanta. Where are the blonde heterosexual men in Atlanta?
There are some men who wear
blonde heterosexual men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are no blonde heterosexual men in Atlanta. There are no blonde heterosexual men in America. What? That is not a thing. How old are you, Bridget? Come on, baby. How old are you? Come on, just pop it out.
I don't tell my age.
Say it.
I don't tell.
Say it.
I'm an age baby.
Okay. How many children you got?
2.
There you go. By how many different men?
Wow.
How many different men?
2.
Okay, there you go. Where are you from originally? Before you came to Atlanta? Jacksonville, Florida. She was on the run. There you go. She was on the run, y'all. That's why she's holding a grudge on black men, especially in the military. So she was down there in Jacksonville. She's on the run. Now she's out here giving y'all fits.
No.
All right. Have we explained that properly for you here, Bridget?
I know.
What we gonna do about this? What we gonna do about this weave?
Oh, I got my red hair under, but it's blonde too.
Okay, I said what we're gonna do about it.
I'm actually doing my hair tonight. So.
Okay, you're gonna do it tonight. What are you gonna do to it?
It's gonna be real. I have a pixie cut.
You're gonna get a pixie cut, or you
No,
have
I
one.
have it already. Yeah.
Okay, you would actually probably look pretty good with one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, with your actual hair, you'd actually probably look pretty good with one. Sitting up here with this phony ass Britney Spears Clairol thing up here and whatnot, and then upset with the men. Y'all should be chasing the white women. Now, let me get this white woman's hair right quick. Let me do this. Okay, Bridget, I'm going to let you live here. In the chat room, I hope they didn't block you because it took you so long to call in. So I don't want you to be blocked here. So go ahead and try to post in the chat room right now. Just post something in the chat room. I want to make sure you're not blocked because you taking so long and my mods will be, oh boy, y'all know my mods.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Oh.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Yeah, y'all just, oh baby, she's sending a message to me on Zoom, y'all.
Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
I told her to put it in the chat room and she sends the message to me on Zoom, y'all. So, okay. My mod said that you're not blocked anymore. So, I wanted you to go ahead and post in the chat room so I could be okay about that. All right, Bridget. Well, she's typical black female in Atlanta. She is upset and angry on a Saturday night. She don't want no black men having no fun. She can wear the blonde wig, but we can't have any fun out here. So she's looking for black men to go, sit here and throw soapy dishwater on the table when they get there. So she's not going to allow us to do that. She is not going to allow it. All right, y'all. I think she hung up over there, but my mod says that she's not blocked anymore. So, all right. Yeah, giving Prince all kinds of fits. And why you talk about the white men and ain't talk about the white women? And meanwhile, she was sitting there stroking the hair too. Y'all know that thing that the females do? She was sitting there stroking that old weave, y'all. Oh, she was stroking that weave. She was doing the whole Cardi B, Nicki Minaj thing. The hair is straight as it can be. She just sitting there stroking it. Oh, she was just sitting there fingering it. It's just doesn't this feel luscious? Don't I just feel like I was born in the valley? What? Oh, y'all, she was just, fingers just flowing through that stuff right there. The Asians down there at the corner hair store would be so proud to see this. They would be so proud to look at that. So, y'all niggas don't be looking at no white women. If she had her back turned to you, you'd be like, hello, Becky. And she turned around, it's Bridget. Damn. Yeah, y'all. So, but she called in, so that's good. She went ahead and called in. Oh, they're lonely on a Saturday night. They're calling me up, giving all kinds of fits. I'm just trying to hold things together. Look here, folks. Here's the bottom line here. For my parents out there and whatnot, y'all got to take this seriously. You all have to take this seriously. Nolan's family wasn't from the soil. For the rest of y'all out here, y'all think we sitting in, you guys get in the way. It's like, okay, y'all got to get over that, man. Or sit here and keep playing with fire. But y'all saw just how quickly you're coming over here telling y'all, you all just messed up. It's not that bad. And as soon as they did something, they all got on code. Now you're not going to hear that talk. It's because their world has been shattered. Well, we thought that we bowed down and we showed them, hey, look, we just want to be on the team. And what do you do when they don't want, what do you do when the more successful you are being on the team, the more they dislike you? Now what? Now what? So to everybody out there, this is a tragedy. It's very much unfortunate. Let it be a wake-up call. Let it be a wake-up call for all of you to take this deadly seriously with your children. Because please understand, his folks did not think that that was going to be the last day they were ever going to see him. His folks did not think that this was going to be the last day they were going to see him. The rest of us understood he was at super high risk. They didn't. So take that as a warning. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Let me go ahead and send a big shout out here to everybody who has contributed to Support the Nice program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to Mark B. My man Mark B has been in the house. We appreciate that. Third Eye Open has been joining me here tonight. I appreciate that as well. Jay Grizzly, Antonio Bay 2026. All right, Nancy, Life's Brian, Brown, Bunny, Creole King, and everybody else here tonight. Thank you very much for your support tonight. We appreciate that. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend, holidays, some days in between. So click that subscribe button and notification button. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work at blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program live or recorded. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.